Cheers to episode 178.
Cheers.
Fancy cups you guys have.
I got a new shaker bottle.
It's very loud. Yes.
Purple Gatorade.
It's not yours, Evan. It's
Gatorade
Grant's.
Zero. Purple
Liquid
Gatorade
IV.
Zero.
Purple Gatorade Zero. That might be the worst thing that they sell.
And some water mixed in because Gatorade's too syrupy.
Red Gatorade. G2
I love
was the
red
worst
Gatorade.
thing they ever
G2
put on the market.
bad, though.
Terrible.
G2 is really gross.
Water for
You
outs.
say there's too much syrup in Gatorade?
Too syrupy. Needs a little bit of water.
Huh.
Makes it last longer too, which is always good. Apparently.
So you buy the Gatorade bottles and then just add water to it, or what?
Yeah, so like I did.
Why don't
About
you just
like
get the Gatorade packets and then pour them into your own
But Grant,
Well, you're a scientist. I'm not a scientist like that. I probably would mess it up.
ice
Gatorade
water?
is-
Pour the powder packet in there, shake it up.
Gatorade is
Dilute as
just
much as
water,
one.
sugar, citric acid, and salt. What sugar or what syrup are we talking about?
What,
The
what
taste,
form
like
of the sugar is it in?
The taste of the flavoring is like too syrupy, too thick sometimes.
Too thick sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Too thick.
Powerade has high fructose corn syrup.
I don't
It's
drink
not good
that.
for you.
Gatorade
take-
has
Probably why
dextrose.
Powerade tastes better than Gatorade.
Really? You think it tastes better?
Oh
What is
yeah.
dextrose?
Not good. I think it sticks to your ribcage.
That's what is in Gatorade and high fructose in Powerade.
So I buy the little mini Gatorades, like the 18 value pack, and I pour one of them probably almost all the way into this, and then add a little bit of water for the rest of the way.
But the
So it
mini
fills up the
ones
cup.
are already a little more watered down than the big ones.
I don't think so.
I think it
You're
comes
telling
from
me the
same
mini ones don't
jar,
taste
Alex.
different?
You think
No.
they use different recipes for the mini ones? You're wrong.
No, it comes from
Gee.
the same spigot.
Purple
Mhm.
Gatorade Zero, yeah, probably.
I like the word spigot. That's a nice word. Spigot. Tony Lippett. Kenny Pickett. Spigot.
Sucks at football.
Tonight's Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. It's 8:19 p.m. I have a trivia question for you guys because I know you guys love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's about college football since that's what we're going to talk about a lot on this show. A lot.
Mhm.
Marino.
Correct. No.
That's the answer.
So when you think about the themes of this college football season, what's the number one thing that comes to mind?
The
Bracket.
NIL and the transfer portal.
Oh, interesting. I think those are both correct answers. If anything, though, even bigger, go higher than that, it's change. The sport is changing a lot. Okay? We have a new bracket.
That was basically what Evan and I said.
We have new NIL transfer portal, but we've also lost a lot of legends in the game of football. Nick Saban's gone. Jim Harbaugh, legend, gone. Harlan Barnett, I think he's still in the game, but he's not where
He's
he
at
was.
Northwestern.
All that to say, there's a lot of heavy hitters that are out of the sport. So currently,
Where's Ross Ells?
You know where
Does
I
he have
want
a
him.
job?
he's
Oh my
with
God, he
Connor
does.
Stallions at Mumford High.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a job.
So
Well,
far,
Fisher's
he was
not
born
coaching.
on August 14th. Happy belated birthday, Ross Ells.
No.
Ross
No,
Ells
he had a
was the
terrible birthday.
defensive coordinator at Purdue,
No, that's a lie. What year?
2016.
Yeah, he actually has a really good head coaching record. Maybe he should just be a head guy somewhere.
No.
How is he the worst special teams coach in the world?
32-9
Trying
as
to be
a
the smartest
coach.
guy in the room, and he's stupid.
He was a linebackers coach at Nebraska, 2011. 2012.
2011.
When you think about the best coaches in the game, like Ross Ells, you think about winning national titles. But let me tell you this. They're currently, let's start with the first part of the trivia question. No, I'm going to give it to you the way I heard it. There's only 3 coaches in college football right now, active coaches that have won a national championship. Can you name all 3?
Smart.
Dabo
Kirby
Sweeney
Smart, Dabo Sweeney.
You got the obvious too.
and Mac Brown.
Yep. All right.
And
That was
Mac
a quick
Brown.
one.
That was easy.
That wasn't that hard.
Next.
So we start, I don't have another one. That was it.
You
But I
thought
think
that
that's-
would stump this duo of geniusness?
No, I'm getting this is
Christ.
like the layup line. We're just
What
getting
a
warmed
joke.
up. We're getting warmed up.
I did that left-handed with my eyes closed.
You did. Yeah, you guys really did a good job there. But that illustrates the point when people like us, like our friends, talk about this coach is worthless. They haven't won anything. Not many coaches in college football right now have won anything at the highest level. So it really is a wild west here because there's questions about Clemson. There's not really any questions about Georgia. North Carolina is not competing for a national title this year, at least in my book. They do play Evans Gophers week 1, which I will be tuned into on Fox. But
Fox prime time, Thursday night.
Yeah.
Why are the Gophers always the early
9 days away. You got to get people that want to play on Thursday instead of Friday or
Did they
Saturday.
have some terrible...
The
God,
Nebraska
who
game
did they
2 years
play?
ago.
Jeff Sims threw like 11 interceptions, and then that Minnesota QB was also hot garbage. Some just terrible football game.
Mohamed Ibrahim tore his Achilles on like the second play.
You know,
Oh, that was
he's back in the NFL.
No. This was last year, I think.
What's cool for Minnesota was they got the first game back from COVID against Ohio State. That was a where were you moment.
They also had the Minnesota-Michigan game, first game that I watched of Michigan that year, right? And they got
It was a
absolutely
COVID year.
punished.
It was 2020.
Yeah, it was the COVID year. Cam Newton, 2.0.
Yeah, last year was Nebraska-Minnesota, 13-10.
That was last year.
Minnesota won. It's last year.
That was a great
Jeff
football
Sims had 11 completions and 3 picks.
game. That was a great football game.
That was a
It
Big
was
Ten buffet, Alex.
Drunk
Good
Big
ending.
Ten hammered football game. So many turnovers.
As I said, with college football, if you love it, this is the show for you. We're going to do more in-depth Michigan and Michigan State previews than we had last week. Last week was more big picture thoughts. We'll address my fandom as well. I've been thinking about that this week, which is always a dangerous thing leading into a season as you can start to sell yourself some dreams. We also have some what ifs, which I think could be fun. I have 2 in my head that I'm going to ask,
Hey,
but
Grant,
hopefully
I don't mean to cut you off here, but based on Evan and I's pre-conversation to the show, Evan's not really going to be interested in many what ifs if they're positive. Just so you know.
Well, they
I can give
they
the
can be
negative
negatives.
what if.
Yeah.
Grant,
Evan
you spit out a what if. I'm going to spin it towards negative, probably.
It's going to
Most
be
likely.
down bad, Evan, today.
I don't care.
This could be a good section of what ifs for Alex to bring back the radio voice. I know, Jim from
Oh, I don't
Rochester
know.
Hills
That
might
guy
have
has
some
to
what
just
ifs.
randomly emerge. I can't
Hey,
just
what if?
call him out whenever.
That feels like you can. It feels like
No,
you
I
have it as a
can't.
switch.
No, I can't. Not.
And then the last thing I have written down is your backup college football team this year, like we've done with our.
This year.
We
Have we
probably
ever
should
done
have
this?
done it going. No, we've done it for
We needed to
NBA
last year for our team. Holy
and
shit.
NHL, but yeah, I think it'd be fun to pick a
Oregon State. That
backup
was our
college
team
football
last
team.
year.
Yeah. All right. So that's what to look forward to. We also have a little bit of Tigers at the top. That'll be fast though.
No.
Let's hop into weekly check-ins. Alex, what have you done?
I played golf Sunday. Shot 82. It's hot.
You just sent us the top 10 teams heading into 2024 season.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting.
It's a nice bevel and glow on that graphic. It's well done. Shot
In
82.
golf, it was like full heat advisory, so like probably shouldn't have been out there. Played at 2
Heard
The
o'clock.
notification was 103 yesterday down there in Texas.
It was brutal.
Talked to someone today from Austin who said it's 105.
Yeah, it's like wake up, walk outside to the car at 7:30 to go to work, and it's like 98 degrees already.
You know what? Oh, that's great. Triathlon training.
Yeah, I didn't run today or yesterday because I
Woke up this morning, Alex. It was in
pass
the
out, die.
50s.
Yeah, that's
It's beautiful here right now.
It was
It kind of sounds like a dream,
It's
honestly.
phenomenal here right now. Not to use that word.
some are saying
A nice-
unbelievable.
A
It's
nice, cool
unbelievable.
50,
So this
55 morning.
So this
is
weekend, that's going to come crashing
glorious.
into our face.
It's going to be hot.
It's just way too hot right now here. But I play golf.
You wearing shorts to work?
No, you can't wear shorts to work. My dad said that to me the other day. He's like, "Why do you wear shorts?" I'm like, I don't think I can do that. And I'm not going to be the first one to try. That would be pretty awkward.
Wear a pair of soccer shorts. Shin guards.
But like, I was just dripping sweat. It was disgusting. I've never played golf in like that much heat before. I probably drank 3 to 4 water bottles and 2 Gatorades. I never peed. That's how hot it was. It was just pounding liquid and no pee.
Wow.
So it's a little tough to play in those conditions. Definitely got fatigued. And then other than that, Nothing too exciting. Had a little heat rash on my shoulders.
From
That was
like a sunburn,
bad.
you mean?
Yeah.
Is that a fancy word for a sunburn?
No, because like a sunburn, you would think, oh, you burn, it hurts, it peels, you're fine, right? That's what you would
Yep.
think.
I'm
So
going
it-
through it right now.
Burned, peeled, goes away, bumps emerge, full hives like 2 days later. Like break into full hives sitting at work.
This is what you have going on.
Ew.
Okay, not bad. It was not that bad. It was like hardly like noticeable. It was just very red.
I mean,
And
it's heat
super
rash.
itchy.
This first one, prickly heat.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
That's what you have.
It was like I'm just on my like right bicep and my shoulders, and it was super itchy. So that was great. I had to get
So
a
no tank tops for you.
hydrocortisone cream. No swimming because didn't want to get in the pool.
Oh,
like
no.
that. So
Oh,
haven't swam in a week.
Training's derailed already.
But we're back and healthy. So other than that, that's it.
Have you tried Texas barbecue yet?
I'm not a big barbecue person, so no. I'm not.
How long have you
that.
been in Texas? Let's take inventory of that. How long has it been?
We are at 11 months. Like
It hasn't
today.
even been a year yet.
No, it's 11
Doesn't it
months.
feel like longer,
today.
Evan? Or am I crazy?
No, because I went to Michigan State football games with him at the beginning of last year.
Okay, that's
Bailed in
good.
October last year.
You
Bail's
left
a
us.
strong word, but
No, he bailed.
You bailed out of town.
He had
left you in
season
good
tickets
hands.
and
Grant joined
left
you
me
for the
with-
Michigan game.
I guess you
I did.
left what, Maryland game?
I went to the Washington game.
That was it. That was the last.
Yeah, but you didn't
hurrah.
go to the Maryland game.
The Maryland game was the day I drove to Texas. I watched that in the car.
Yeah, there was like the fastest switch of all time where Alex was telling people he was going to fly in for each Michigan State game, and then they got beat by Washington by 40 points. He was like, "Yeah, I'm good."
So yeah, see ya.
Like, you're like, I'll for sure fly in for the Michigan game.
If we
No.
were good, yeah, maybe, but no, God, no, we were terrible. It's probably best I didn't go through that.
100%, I would say.
So yeah, 11 months.
Nice. Evan, your week back
Not
to
much
school.
going on. Work, outer job picked up. School's back in town. I went to Indiana to scout for a hunting trip on Sunday. So walked about 8 miles in the woods, trekking along, swamp area, tall high grass, weeds. You name it, we walked through it.
Exciting.
What I'm explaining to. I know for sure, but I'm sure there's other people that don't know
Right.
about hunting. What's
Sure,
this-
you know.
Like, what's the ultimate goal of this scouting? Is this land you haven't been to before, or what's going
Okay,
on
so
here?
this is a bunch of public land down in Indiana. Anybody can hunt on it. You gotta have enough licenses to shoot something on it, but you can walk all over it.
Okay.
The goal of it is to find tracks, signs of deer, places humans haven't been. No public tree stands are up. All that like stuff. You
Okay.
want to find a good spot where like okay nobody's at. Deer are walking in and out of here. Food sources. You're tracking all that, and then you can put up your trail cams and see what's coming in and out of that area. If it's a good spot to hunt. If not, go down there, move it again, or guess on a different spot.
Another question that I'm sure other people understand,
Yeah.
or that I understand, but I'm sure other people might be wondering. That's how you phrase
Absolutely.
it. You put a trail cam up. Are you leaving it there? Like you leave and you leave it there. You're back in Michigan. You can see what's on that cam.
Yep. The
No.
cam has a cell service.
You put the
Cell
cam
service,
there.
so you
and
pay
hide it in
$20
your
a month,
tree.
$15 a month for the service. And anytime there's movement, or you can have it send off at different times and notifications, it'll take pictures if there's like movement in front of the camera,
Nice.
and then the app will send straight to your phone.
Nice.
You get a notification saying Trail Cam 1 got a picture taken, and you can click on it and see what type of picture it was. What
It's
was in
Bigfoot.
It's a naked guy running through the forest.
Yeah.
Um,
So I knew what the end result was. I've seen pictures before. I didn't know how far the cell service reached. So that's fascinating.
yeah, it's just like whatever cell service you get in that area, or whatever cell service comes with the trail cam, I believe. Some trail cams are obviously better than others. You can get trail cameras that are like $500, Grant, and it's like, okay, you should catch a deer itself, but
4K,
yeah.
4K vision. So was it a successful scout? Would you say? Do you feel good about the property you walked?
I just know that I went with 2 other people. I'm not going to walk that far in and go into the swamp areas when I'm hunting. I'm going to be overlook a field hunter, and if I see humans, I see humans. And hopefully the deer walks in front of my stand instead of the other stand that's 50 yards away from me.
Yeah.
Don't shoot anyone.
So wait, so are you kind of like, when you put up trail cams, are you kind of claiming your spot? Like if you go back to this property in a couple months, like could someone have messed with your setup?
Hunters, whatever you want to call it.
Code? The bro code?
Like, hey, there's already a trail cam here. You kind of don't really put a trail cam right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can if you want, but it's kind of like, hey, somebody's already been here. But you also don't know, like, is that trail cam active? How long has it been out? Is it dead? Is that person never coming back?
Right.
Like we walked by and we saw in one probably 30-acre spot that there was like 4 trail cameras.
Mm. So
obviously that spot was either a hotbed for deer and people want to hunt that area, or people just put it up in that spot.
And you peed all over them to mark your spot. Let them know you're coming.
And so also you're like walking around in like obviously just good areas, and so people just leave tree stands up, and so there's a bunch of tree stands just all over there.
When we talk Indiana swamp, sorry, this is a lot of questions about this, but again, I know these answers.
Okay, so it's not like the Florida and Louisiana swamp. It's like, okay, you have
just
forests,
like the
and
gator swamps,
and then there's a wet areas, and it's kind of like a marshy swamp, like pond area.
Up to your ankles in water.
Okay, I'll say this: we were walking, and then there was like a little drainage ditch filled with water. We had to cross that drainage ditch. Couldn't do it. So what do? You walk through the tall grass, high grass of like swamp. I stepped down and my boot is ankle deep in water.
Oh my God.
And it's technically dry out right now in Indiana, southern Michigan. So obviously if it was during a lot wetter, or however you want to say it, more rain, it would have been even worse.
Moist
but
season.
Hey, shout out my boot, Irish Setters. It doesn't look anything like that, Grant.
Okay. I was just seeing. Closer to like.
Grant, you ask such bizarre questions.
This is fascinating. I mean, Evan's
probably looks
land.
Similar.
Like to the,
I don't know.
When we used to go into the woods at that one park before basketball practice.
School.
Yeah, where it got wet towards like the lake or body of water back there.
The lake? I don't think it was a lake.
Pond?
Maybe a pond. Maybe a small creek.
And you get burrs all over yourself?
I remember we came to practice once just soaked because we accidentally ran into it.
Okay, Grant, go back to that Indiana. Go back. Scroll down. There's the Indiana map that you just passed.
Oh, okay. This one?
Yep.
We can make it bigger.
We're in like northern, like it's an hour and a half, hour 45 drive from Tecumseh. So we're not super far in Indiana, but it's just Indiana public land.
Can you see this map or no?
I can't. No. You stop sharing.
Oh, I hate that.
It's a good area.
It's not really needed.
Okay.
It's something new. It's something exciting. It's land to hunt now.
It's yours.
And why not just hunt public land in Michigan?
It just means more in Indiana. 49 states, it's just hunting.
There's actually bigger deer down here, supposedly.
What?
There's not really good public land around us either in Lenawee County, Washtenaw County, Monroe County. There's not really any good like acreage. There's public land, but like the amount of access in public land, there's not that much good.
I know some private land you could go hunt if you want.
I know there is private land that I could go hunt and sit over the walnut field and see 60 deer walk at me and then get it ruined by one little doe just bleat behind me and ruin my entire Thanksgiving. It'll be
exciting.
I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Maybe we head out there for Thanksgiving.
I would love to.
I think I'll be home, so.
This could be you, Evan.
There's nothing better than waking up on Thanksgiving and going hunting than just go back and your parents are already like packed up, ready, food's already cooked, and you just, we have to go over to grandparents, and you just get in a car and drive over there. Oh, what you guys do this morning? How was making all the food?
We
Oh, I
actually
went
went to
hunting.
Penn State.
But imagine though
Ford
that,
Field.
but how much
Watch them
cooler if
murder.
you bag a buck and you
Bag
bring that
buck,
buck
and I'm
you
late.
just
I'm
put
late
it,
to Thanksgiving. Oh,
you lay it on the dining room table and you just
Daddy's
fucking take it
home.
all out right there. We're not having turkey this year. We're
I'm
having
having back
venison.
straps. I probably would cut out the back straps and cook it myself for Thanksgiving because that is so much superior meat than
Well,
turkey.
turkey is dog shit.
And then watch the Lions lose because they've never won under Dan Campbell on Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's what I did on Thanksgiving.
Caleb
Super-
Williams at Thanksgiving.
Ooh, that will
and then
hurt.
Michigan State lost to Arizona. Oh,
Yes, that was a good game.
what a bad weekend. That was a terrible sports weekend for us.
It was really bad until
Michigan won.
Michigan won. Butler
Well,
beat
we ha-
Creighton. That
We hired
At
Jonathan
Creighton.
Smith during the Michigan Ohio State game.
really, that was the timing.
Yeah, halftime. Dropped
Was
at
it
halftime
halftime?
of that game. Because we tried to take away the attention from that.
Spotlight.
Yeah.
Look over here.
Don't forget about us.
Smith coming.
Oh, also,
Talk common,
our
baby.
avid listeners or avid Twitter accounts, get ready for the season. It is now officially time for Alex to shit on me season. Middle school football starts next week.
Oh, I'm not. I'm going to be
no.
nice this year.
What's our schedule looking like?
I'm
I'll
going to be
pull it
nice.
Not as brutal, but we still got Bedford first game, so it's a
Got
good
a good
reality
draw.
check. It's just like I feel like we just signed a 12-year contract of just a home and home, just nonstop for middle school football. First game of the year.
Always
Did what?
Bedford? Was that who you
It
said?
has been every single year that I've been coaching.
Put the line at minus 21 and a half.
All right, this is what I got. You tell me this is accurate. Oh, wait, no, this can't be right. This says it starts on September 17th.
That is accurate, 100%.
Oh, so practice starts.
No, practice starts.
So you got Bedford.
L.
I suck with this. Pinkney?
Pinckney.
Pinkney?
W.
Pink? Like Barbie
Yeah.
Pink?
Yep, pink.
Pinkney.
Yep.
Home.
Win.
No, away.
Win.
I'm sorry. Away.
Win.
That's
First
a long
win of the
drive, though,
season.
Alex, for eighth graders.
It's a
a
long,
long-
for
for
seventh
seventh and
and eighth
eighth.
graders.
It's
Okay,
a
so
long
seventh grade
drive.
plays at 4:00, and that is an hour and like 15.
What are we
Drive.
coaching?
We're coaching both, 7th and 8th.
Oh, I think
Alex, nobody
Both-
fired me yet. I'm still the offensive coordinator for both levels.
both
Huge.
teams lose week 1. 8th grade wins week 2. 7th grade loses.
Game 3, home, Jackson.
Home opener.
This is what people came for. Who cares about college
We're home
football
against
playoff?
Bedford, Alex. This
yeah,
is,
not really. But this game, you got to get this one.
You have to, because you know what's next? These two away games will determine
Win.
the season.
We beat Jackson. We're 1-2.
Okay,
the
week
7th grade team got murdered by them. I think they lost like 35-0 last year to Jackson. So
0-3. Here we go. Week 4.
they pulled all the eighth graders up to varsity though. You're
Tony
good.
Dungy Field.
we're home
Um,
that game, Alex.
I know.
Next week at Chelsea.
7th grade's one low win was against Chelsea. So the 8th
Oh.
graders, their one lone win last year was
We have
versus
the
Chelsea.
number.
Is that at home?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to give them
No.
a win there.
No, I'm sorry. It's away. I said away. I'm looking at this wrong.
Alex,
Yeah.
we won at Chelsea last year. Don't forget it.
I think 0-4. at
Hey,
this
not
point.
to tell the athletic department how to do their schedule, but it would be kind of nicer if they. I'll show you guys.
Are we
if-
dumbing down the playbook for them this year?
If instead of they didn't say versus for every single one. I know the bus here says away or home, but like
Okay,
we
you're
could just say
probably the only person looking at this schedule.
No,
No,
every single
no.
parent looks at this schedule.
People
This
are
is the
flocking
It
to
official
says
this
schedule.
page.
clearly home away on the left side. What do you
I'm just
mean?
saying, why couldn't we write at Pickney
Wake
to
up,
make it?
Grant.
I'm just saying, simple fix on
Monroe
the
is
back
a
end.
Monroe's a win.
I don't know.
Monroe's a win.
I'm
I
not
like
sure.
that.
I
That's
think
a
Chelsea
lot.
Monroe is like Florida Gators schedule to end the year. That's just murderous.
Adrian, win.
One possession game last year for the 7th graders, now 8th graders
Against
Um,
Monroe.
against Adrian. Rumor has it Adrian doesn't have a 7th grade team, but I have no idea. I was
That's-
told that like a
Where
week
are people
ago.
playing soccer?
I don't know.
Pinckney, Jackson, and Adrian got to be wins if we want to have a successful year. And then we got to win.
Alex.
And then we got to
Pickney's a loss.
win.
Alex, I feel better against
One
Chelsea than
other.
I do Jackson.
Okay,
Just go
flip
every
those.
other. Every other.
And let's try to get Monroe or Bedford. Strive.
Bedford's gonna be tough.
We're not going undefeated at home. I
No.
can sense that.
No, we're not.
Defend the jungle.
Tough
Not.
home schedule.
Tough home schedule.
You guys get student sections for these? They come out and
No.
support their classmates?
There's
What
8 people
offense are we
stands.
running? Air raid?
Try to run the same offense as high school.
Multiple?
Same base principle, so it's an easier transition to the high school.
Wing T?
Pistol or shotgun?
Pistol.
Yeah, great.
Shotgun, pistol.
Oh, we're gonna have some
hybrid a little
fumbled
bit.
snaps, Evan. Let's get in the pistol.
We're in
Go
the.
closer.
There's no difference between the pistol and shotgun, Alex. It just depends
Yeah.
on where the running back lines up.
I thought it was like 3 yards, 5 yards.
Yeah, I thought it was a little closer.
For middle school, no. A pistol just means that it's quarterback, running back's right behind.
What's
them.
our shotgun?
is
2 yards?
gun. I think toes are.
Are we clapping?
They all try to do that stupid clap, and I tell them no every single year.
Tell them to study Aaron Rodgers tape. That's how you give signals and get people offside. Do they do a lot of pre-snap motion?
We running. We sending
try to.
guys. Veer
Alex,
left.
I'm limited to what
Veer
kids
right.
are able to obtain in practice.
Are we heavy 11 personnel?
What was a stupid play we ran?
This year we will be.
Hell
The
yeah.
wedge, where we just wedge and run forward. What we call that?
Wedge, probably.
We called it wedge.
Yeah, that's it. That was what it was.
That
It's
was
called
literally
wedge.
the play huddle. That's
We
all
ran
you
that
did.
like
You get in the
78%
huddle
of the
and
plays.
you get in the huddle and you just say one word.
It was like
36 power,
wedge.
27 counter.
Yeah, I was the 2, I think. Wasn't one wing back the 2, the other wing was the 3.
36 was to the right. If you're the right wing back, you're 27.
Yeah,
If you're the left wing back, you're all evens.
It was the left running behind. Sick.
Hell yeah, brother.
Just
Well, then
mowing
we
people
went. We
down.
were wing T. Then we went to full house.
Jordan
All right.
Ray. Fullback.
Outside of that, Evan, any other things? Scouting land, getting ready for football, school
Drew
back.
and I have officially
Quit the league.
gone first to worst in golf league. We
You
finished.
guys
dead
won the
last.
league last year?
Yeah, we won the league last year. Finished dead last this year.
Oh,
I
that's all
didn't
that
realize
matters.
you guys
won last
won.
year. I was gonna say. No,
we
I
talk
remember
about
it
it?
now. We
Yes,
definitely did.
Bragged about it all the time.
Wow, that is crazy.
You're like the NFL hypothetical we had. You are the first. You're
I
the
am.
Dallas Cowboys this year.
Yep,
Wow.
dead last.
Wow. Was that fun night?
No, that was position night. Was yesterday.
So is it
night's
done,
next
or do you
week.
guys? Oh,
It's
It's done.
Why?
It's
hell
over.
yeah.
Golf league's over.
Who
Damn.
won?
Ryan and Wally won.
When did that golf league start? It starts in like May, doesn't it?
It starts in April.
Oh my god.
Okay, here's
Does it-
the thing.
Does it feel like a piece of your identity dies when the league ends? Like it's
Yeah, a little
that's
bit.
4 months.
It's always like the next 2
5
weeks.
months?
I'm like, what am I supposed to? What do I do Monday night? It's like, oh yeah, I golf. I'm usually golfing at this time.
Yeah.
Who's
Um,
19 on the Lions?
Donovan Peoples Jones.
Sounds right. Well, I don't know. Yeah, DPJ.
So let's see. There's 14 teams, Grant. So you play everyone once. 2 position nights. 3 rain makeups.
How many teams you play them
There's
twice?
14 teams. So you play everyone. So there's 13. So you play 13 teams because there's 14. There's 2 position nights, and there's like 3 rain makeups already built in.
Smart. Never
14,
know
15.
Michigan.
So 18 weeks, not counting fun night. 18 weeks.
Damn.
4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah. April, May, June, July, August.
It's a full journey
4.5 months. 5 months.
from first to worst. Do you get a last place trophy or punishment?
I asked that. I was like, is there a last place punishment? And they said no, so I didn't really care. But we were playing these 2 guys again, and they both parred number 11. Andrew and I are both giving strokes.
Mm.
So Drew and I had to birdie the hole. Both had to birdie a hole just to half the hole. Okay,
Yeah,
we
birdie.
did both. Should have birdied. Correct.
No, that's
and then
crazy.
they turned to us and they're like, yeah, I think that's the first time that we both parred the same hole together.
Oh, that's the worst when bad golfers tell you afterwards, like, I don't know what's happening, dude. I played incredible
also-
today.
You're like the fantasy football team that runs into everyone's
I
200
saw
point week.
we were on 14 Alex at T-box, and somebody from 15 was in 14's bunker.
It's a bad shot.
First to worst is crazy. Not the hammer
their
at home.
back.
But that is
It's
crazy.
their back.
If they're allowed back after the display this year.
If Drew wants to
People
come
are
back, I'll
talking.
play again.
All right. My week was fast. I didn't do a ton. I did get to spend some good family time in Ohio. My grandma Flew in from Arizona. My uncle and aunt drove up. That's a crazy word I just invented. Drove up from Cincinnati, Kentucky area. Hung out. Fun time. My only thing I wrote down, sometimes when I'm going through the course of my day, I try to think if something happens to me. I'm like, oh, that'd be funny to tell on the show. I was at a Starbucks some Saturday morning, and I found a new pet peeve in life. In Starbucks, I don't know if you guys ever mobile order there, if you go to Starbucks, whatever. Anyways, try to put order in while you're driving there and make it go faster. We're trying to get to Ohio fast. I walk in. Instantly, I know that it's going to be a long wait because you can just tell sometimes when you walk into those coffee shops, if a bunch of people are waiting for their food, it's going to be a while. You see how many people are working. There's a new level of hell that should be for this type of person that I encountered. The person at a coffee shop, or really any place of business where you're waiting for food and there's mobile pickup, that just puts both their elbows and their whole body essentially on the counter, staring at the workers, waiting for their order to come.
Oh my God.
You not only are making them feel incredibly uncomfortable and like a sense of anxiety, you're also being incredibly inconsiderate to the 6 people behind you. They're going to have to ask you to get out of the way when their name is called. This woman sat there with her elbows resting on the counter, just leaning in, like all excited, watching these people make coffee, waiting for hers as like 4 people had to ask her, please, can you please move so I can grab my coffee? Just what are we doing as a society? That person should serve a month term in jail. Just teach people a lesson for doing stuff like that in public. So that's a new person I realized that I really don't like. It was actively making me mad standing there watching her do that.
Did you just like talk out loud, like making fun of her? That's my new favorite thing to do in public.
You just start saying the thoughts that are in your head.
Yeah, you just stand a somewhat close distance away, but not too close, and you just start talking out loud, like, I can't believe this person. What are they doing? You just kind of say like subtle comments right behind them.
Yeah, girl, you take up all that space. You stand on that counter.
See if they turn around and look at you.
I've realized
I might do that next time.
That in situations like that where it really pisses me off, I'm no longer good at like keeping it to myself. Like I am like actively like looking at the person, trying to get them to look back at me so I can be like, what the are you doing? Like I just make mean faces at people for doing dumb stuff. I don't know when it started, but I'm very like grandpa yelling at the clouds.
That's a Ryan Russillo move in you. I feel like he's told stories about doing that at the gym to people.
It's just like, dude, what are you like at the gym? It's like a great example. Like people doing stupid shit, and I just like look at them like, buddy, like what are we doing, and why? Why I just can't stand people who have zero like sense of awareness whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like the lack of awareness and also like complete disregard for other humans that are in a public space with you. I sit down at a table and just relax, wait for my name to be called, get up, go get it. I'm not standing there breathing down the counter.
And people at the airport standing 4 hours before boarding.
As soon as seating is
all right, like guys, everyone. We're about to let on first class here, and then somebody zone 11 is. I'm ready. God, that just tickles a nerve.
Get fired up. Moving into
a coffee shop today.
Really?
Didn't happen. Yeah, there's one right by me, so I go there sometimes.
Like a chain or a local one?
It's called Blue Tile.
That sounds nice.
Had a nitro cold brew this morning.
Oh, you were feeling crazy. That's the most extreme amount of caffeine you can get.
Yeah, it knocks me off my rocker.
Did it actually?
No.
Oh, not like Celsius. That stuff gave me the jitters.
That stuff does nothing to me. That's how I know I drink way too much caffeine.
Yeah, 100%. Because I was like feeling super weird. But it's the first time I've ever had, so you feel it the strongest. Anyways,
first time I ever had coffee, I was actually like bouncing off the walls.
Really?
I drank three cups out of a Keurig my sophomore year of college. That was the first time I ever really had coffee. I like stood up and I was like freaking out, like tweaking.
Why'd you do 3? Why not just 1?
I was just sitting there watching TV with Cody, and I was like, oh, this is great. I just kept drinking it.
Today I'm going to be a man.
Yeah, it was weird.
Sometimes I wish I would stop drinking coffee for like 2 weeks just to get that sensation again.
We know. You bought 8 bags of decaf once and then never used it.
You still have those, by the way?
No, I threw them away.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Just stupid to try.
Moving on to actual sports. Quick second of baseball.
We like sports.
The
We don't care who knows.
The Tigers had a cool win in Williamsport. They put out their best lineup of the year in terms of intrigue, I would say, to the fan base. Playing a lot of the young kids all together. Still waiting for Max Clark. I don't think we'll see him this year, though, but he's continuing to ball out. Evan, what was that thing you tried to tell us?
We won't see him next year either.
What did you try to tell us about service years in like 2021? When we started the show, you were explaining how MLB minor league contracts work. And Alex and I were just like, this is why we'll never be good. I don't understand how this works.
Yeah, because it's not about like. So let's say, for example, the rookies that came up. Pick a rookie that came up. It's been back and forth.
Oh,
Pick one.
Malloy?
Yes. Okay, it's not like, okay, he came up and played. It's about like the amount that he played. So like, for example, who just got brought up? Who's a rookie that just got brought up? Like Jace
Torkelson. No,
Jace.
actually he's not a rookie.
Jace.
Okay.
That was me.
If he stays under a certain percentage of games played this year, he's technically will be a rookie next year.
Oh, nice.
So you hold on to his
He
contract
looks.
year.
yes, so you hold on to his rights longer
That's
based
huge.
off of the years that he's MLB service.
He looks like such an asshole.
It's just that MLB players
Really?
don't get to like their second contract
What?
fast enough.
Did you
and so
see
that's
his
why.
jersey?
No.
Does
It's
it?
like this.
He
Alex,
actually
that's the
looks sick.
crave. That's everyone does that now. Just,
God, it just
okay,
looks
you
so
old
dumb.
timer.
I know. I'm turning into an old man.
Yeah, dude, the Lily World Series, I had to make sure Evan, for inside the show, I texted Evan, was watching the Lily World Series. All these kids, I noticed it after the first one got walked, ripping off his elbow guard, ripping off his shin guard. I was like, what are we doing? Like, you are 12. I know you're in the World Series, so I understand you're better than I was at that age, but like, what are we doing?
But in
And I
fairness,
texted Evan,
Grant,
he's
all
like, that's
that
the new
Little
thing.
League, the Little League, they probably get all that stuff for free. So I mean, if I got it for free, I probably would wear it too.
I'm a little super. I feel like it would mess up my game. I'd be like, this elbow guard, it's going to weigh me down.
The way that I hit,
Take-
I probably was wearing it all, and I would probably just like stand there and hopefully just wear one, get up
Yeah.
there somehow.
Yeah. It's out of control. Baseball swag in the Little League World Series. I mean, they have every single gadget you could have. Anyways, are you buying or selling the Tigers potentially making a run here?
Sell.
Sell.
Are you kidding me, Grant? Get
Ask
outta
you-
here.
okay, I'm gonna
We'll
answer your question
define
with a
run.
question.
They're not making
Okay.
the playoffs.
I'm gonna answer your question with a question. Who on
Yep,
the
I love
pitching
it.
staff besides Scooble do you trust to have a quality start every single time they're pitching?
Let me ask my question with your question with another question.
Okay.
Of course, going back to your hunting thing. I mean, I for sure know who the other 4 starting pitchers on the Tigers are, but could you tell me who the other 4 starting pitchers are?
Okay, Alex Faedo's pitching today against the Cubs.
Okay. He was good last year at times, I think.
Our friend of the podcast, Cody's favorite pitcher, is back from the bullpen and now in the starting rotation.
Kenta Maeda, for those
Yep.
not aware.
Our rookie who pitched really well against the
Casey Mize.
no.
Oh.
He's with the Mud Hens right now doing rehab starts. Montero.
Oh. Heard the
probably-
last name before. Thought he played for the Marlins or something.
He's a rookie. Well, he's in our starting rotation, and Bo Brisky started the other day, and then they went straight to the bullpen though. It was like a bullpen game. I'm missing our last starter.
Reese Olson's on the IL right now, so
Yes, he
probably
is.
not him.
I can't name the
Okay.
fifth starter.
To answer your question, nobody besides Scooble.
So down the
But-
stretch, obviously you need quality pitching, and Scooble's the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. He's going to win the AL Cy Young.
Hell yeah.
So I don't trust anybody. So there's no way that we can get a run going with either. You don't trust any starting pitcher.
But I trust Chris Fetter with my life. So,
A lot of
Crazier
people
things can
say
happen.
they don't trust him.
what? Those people are crazy.
Pitching injuries for the Tigers rotation has dramatically increased ever since he took over.
I'm going to blame the training staff. Could be his fault, but I'm going to choose not to think that it's his fault.
Grant, can I ask you another question about baseball?
You can. I hope I
We
haven't.
really
answered it.
shouldn't be talking about baseball.
Okay, how would you feel if Major League Baseball enforces every starting pitcher to go at least 6 innings?
I thought you were going to say forces them to get Tommy John before they start their MLB career because it's inevitable. Forces starting pitchers to go 6 innings?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a real thing.
This is a real thing. This is a hot topic that they might enforce next year.
Do you know the is this one of those, who's the guy? Theo Epstein in charge of like baseball rules? Is this his idea? Because if he's on board, I blindly will follow it.
I don't know who's in charge of it, but I feel like this rule would ruin a lot of pitchers.
Yeah, on paper, it's a terrible idea.
I think it's idiotic.
Forcing anyone to do anything in sports that's like workload wise, feels wrong.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like
the
that's a terrible
NBA
idea.
forcing like Kawhi Leonard to play 75 games out of 82, and he's cooked for the playoffs every year. Like you can't.
Like
can't
what are you
really,
doing? Like in the fourth inning, and your pitcher's already at like 75, 80 pitches.
Or if he's gonna have 11 runs,
good luck.
Like what if is there a run limit? Like you give up 15 runs, but you have to stay out there. I mean, that's just cruel. Sometimes people suck.
What do you do with like every pitcher? Just be like,
passing.
okay, I have a blister. I need to come out, and then just say he's day to day, and then by the next time he has to pitch, you're like, yeah, he's healthy.
Yeah, I will say I don't know the exact rules. Again, after you named our 4 starting pitchers, I do like the idea of the rules they've made around relief pitchers, where if you make a pitching change, you're stuck with that guy for at least like 3 outs. I love that because that would slow the game down so much. So
yeah, that doesn't bother me. Like you're in there, like do something about it.
Yes, yes.
Obviously, I think there's like a way around it where I think it's like in between innings you can change pitchers. So like some managers have kind of found a couple loopholes here and there. Don't quote me on that. I have no idea. I don't watch enough baseball.
Make it a quote card right now.
I don't watch enough baseball, but I am on your side in the fact that when we release that lineup for the Williamsport game, that is a lineup that you hope, besides a couple people on there, that you hope we can go forward for the next like 4 to 5 years.
Yes. It actually is looking almost better today, minus our shortstop. It was Parker Meadows, Riley Green, Matt Vierling, Kerry Carpenter, Colt Keith, Spencer Torkelson, Jace Young, Dylan Dingler, Javi Baez, Alex Faedo. That's a lineup.
That's youth. That is the youth movement. And obviously, it's starting pitching. Our bullpen's been good the last 2 or 3 years. It's Scooble and then put everybody else together.
Are we still talking about the Tigers?
Alex, people care about the Tigers because they earn for playoff sports more than
people
just
do
one
care
team.
about them. It's crazy. They really
It's
do.
crazy
like
that
their
people,
fan base is active.
Alex, it's the longest sports season, so people care about it.
I understand, but football is a small,
Alex,
small.
Saturday, dude, when that game kicks off, will I care about Tigers baseball as much?
You better forget about it.
My tweet notifications are on for any time it says Torque or Torque Bomb. So as soon as that hits my phone, I'm going to send my text message saying Torque Bomb and then move on.
Can we? This is not the show for it, to Alex's point, but like sitting here talking like we are now, baseball is just so incredibly dumb for wanting to grow their game and not doing their postseason right now. Like there's nothing to do in the back half of August.
The heat of football.
Okay, here's the question. I think October 12th. October 12th, prime time. Obviously, everyone's saying it's the greatest week of college football
ever
of recent memory. That will be like during MLB postseason baseball. So let me guys ask this question. Let's say let's say you guys are at home this weekend. You don't have to tell everybody where you're going. Let's say you're at home that weekend. How many minutes are you watching of MLB postseason that weekend?
0. Like on my TV. On Twitter, I will see a highlight.
Yeah, on TV, Graham. I'm saying that you turn over to the TV during that weekend, Saturday, October 12th.
12 minutes.
Noon. 12 minutes? That's generous for you.
Because it's going to be on in some bar, and I will turn my head,
Alex,
and I'll casually...
You have
if I'm sitting at home...
you have full control of the remote and the TV that's in front of you.
What round?
How many minutes are you watching?
And who's in?
It's like the beginning of the playoffs. October 12th is the beginning of the playoffs.
It's like round 1. Kidding me?
Freaking regular season goes all the way through September.
If the Astros are in it because they're right here, I might turn it on for a second just to see how they're doing for cooler talk. But that's about it.
If you think I would ever, if I would ever flip on,
talk about the Astros. They won 8 of last 10, 9 of last 10. I think Alex hit them up with
Astros are hot right now. Everyone's been talking about them. Playing the Red Sox tonight.
And there's zero world that you would ever see me watch meaningful minutes. Like that means I'm watching this game and missing snaps.
No, I'm not doing that. It's like in commercial for 4 seconds.
Like
what's the
there's
sport?
just no world. Orioles Guardians is being picked over Ohio State Oregon. It's just not happening
All
in
right,
my
great.
life.
I got it. That weekend will be, Alex, it will not be wild card weekend. It will be the ALDS. Game 5,
Yeah.
if necessary.
Yeah,
Gotta be
Orioles
ALC.
Guardians, no chance.
It's got to
I'm
be
seeing that.
ALCS or NLCS for me to even remotely consider turning.
World Series Game 7, flip on in the 9th inning. See how the season ends.
Okay, MLB. Okay, this is easy for our small little brains. MLB postseason starts October 1st.
That's nice. That's clean. Should start August 1st, but I digress.
Tigers play their last regular season game on September 29th at home.
I'm not joking. If Ohio State Oregon was 17-10 in the third quarter, I would rather watch that than 5-5 tied in the bottom of the ninth for the World Series. I just would rather watch that.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone in America would agree with that.
Like, what if
Except
Dylan
those-
Gabriel launches a 75-yarder? That's cooler.
I'd rather sit through the commercials and make sure I don't miss any of that football game than turn that World Series on.
I'll watch the Dr. Pepper Fanville commercial
Yes.
on repeat,
I'll watch
waiting
it
for
100
Bill.
times.
coming back.
Brand new this year.
Yeah, a mean shot they took at the Wolverines,
When we
but
come
I guess
back
it's funny.
to Little Eagle and he's NBC night game. We need
Oh,
to
he's
go.
the first Michigan game too. This guy's gonna follow me around everywhere this year. Gets to Ohio State, Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, I just said that, stupid.
I didn't connect it was that game because of the text I sent today.
You told us today.
I know. That's what I just said. I didn't connect it until I
forgot.
just thought. Correct. Because I had to validate that tweet was legit. It was from an Ohio State beat reporter. I don't know where Joe
Evan, you
Flash
wanna hear
is
something
saying
sad?
these things.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'll save it. I'll save it for the Spark segment.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, great, T and Alex. We're going to get into Michigan and Michigan State in-depth previews right now. What does that mean? In-depth strengths and weaknesses, some offense and defensive most important players, any
We
other
weren't doing this
storylines
whole
you want.
preview thing. Let's start with this. Michigan State is the only
Jim from East
team in the
Lansing.
Big Ten that has to play Ohio State, Oregon, and Michigan. Only team in the entire Big Ten.
Okay. Nice.
Now, second
Penn
half
State,
of
though.
that.
we get to play Iowa.
Rutgers avoids, I think,
Oh, every
Ohio
team.
State, Penn State, Iowa, Michigan, and Oregon. I think they avoid all of them. They don't play any of
I
those
don't
teams.
think Iowa should be in that group.
They're ranked.
They have a top 10 defense.
Not
Their
by us.
defense is good.
They are not
Are
ranked
they?
by us. I would not rank them in a top 25. Their offense might be still terrible. I think it's confirmed terrible still.
Either way, tall task for Johnny Smith. Easy task for the Scarlet Knights.
All right. Well, I want to start it this way. Let's focus on Michigan State
No.
first. We'll like snake draft. We'll do Michigan State,
Let's
then we'll
briefly
do
get to it.
Michigan, then we'll do Michigan, then Michigan State. Strengths and weaknesses of this team. For those that you can go as in depth as you want or as big picture, like me. I pulled up Michigan State's depth chart for the first time last night.
Depth
Don't-
chart?
Well,
We
it's
don't have a
not
depth chart.
accurate. We don't have one.
Well, I go on to the site Our Lads. They're really good about depth charts. I mean, it's close. I mean, if I read names off, I'm like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Probably play.
And I'll tell you who's not starting. Yes.
All right. Looking at your team, feel like you do have some good transfers. I'm looking at the offensive
What's
side
this
of the ball
website,
right now.
man?
Our lads.
Lads.
OURLADS.
Is Brandon Baldwin going to be your left tackle?
Possibly.
Luke Newman, your left guard?
Yeah, probably.
Tanner Miller, your center?
Yes, that's a
Should
guarantee.
be. He's the Oregon
Sharp
State
eight.
kid.
All Big Ten.
Christian Phillips, right guard?
On NFL,
Maybe.
how do I get to college?
That's questionable.
It's at the top NCAA depth charts. Or you could just, if you Google MSU
I
Our
see.
Lads,
Oh, we're not in alphabetical
right
order here,
tackle?
huh? This is ridiculous.
Ashton Lepo.
Yeah, that's the right side is questionable.
All right, in
It's
fairness, Brandon,
competition.
this guy probably took the one screenshot picture of fall camp of all the offense linemen together, and that was the picture.
They do. I mean, I don't see it on this one, but he does like this website does cite sources sometimes of like articles and stuff. So it gives you a decent shot. Obviously
I
everything.
believe him.
But
I hope Stanton Ramel starts.
I pulled this up for the very first time last night. When I looked
Where's
at
he
it,
listed?
maybe I'll just say my opinions and you guys correct me because everyone gets mad when other people that aren't informed talk about their
Alex,
team.
I found your favorite player.
Khalid Majid.
No.
Well, then he's not my favorite player.
Sorry, Grant, for cutting you off. Continue.
No, you're good. Who's his favorite player?
Yeah, who's my favorite player?
Your favorite player is Quindarius Dunnigan.
Yeah,
Quindarius Dunnigan. I've done it again.
You haven't done again.
God, I can't wait for his first sack. Done it again, Dunnigan.
On paper,
Yeah,
I feel like when I'm looking at this depth chart, I think running back, quarterback, tight end are strengths of the offense. I think that's you feel competent in that. I think weakness, offensive line, more of a question mark. Could be a strength. We just don't know.
It's definitely a weakness.
Depth
Starters,
is,
who knows?
it's only 2 deep right now. Obviously, there's more people on the roster, but they only have 2 deep for them. My biggest question, I don't know if this is a joke from the phone call about Nick Marsh. I've seen he's gotten hype. Is he like a surprise potential X factor for the offense? If he takes, I don't know who this Alante Brown kid is, but I imagine if Nick Marsh is good, he'll be a third receiver for
Nick Marsh
them.
will play.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty
transferred from us. What wide receiver transferred away from us?
The guy that went to Tyrell Henry.
Oh, he's
went to Wisconsin.
We got Foster, Jaron Glover.
Yep.
Who visited Georgia but came back.
Antonio Gates.
Not going to play, probably. I think he stinks.
Alante Brown.
I think Alante Brown. Play.
Isaiah Johnson with AZIA. Never heard H. Never heard that guy.
Young. Freshman. Yeah, it'll be a crapshoot.
What about running back? This guy, the Lynch Adams kid. Are we thinking like, because in the age of college football, I feel like there's not really crazy bell cows. People like to split. Is he going to be, we think, a serviceable backup? Play a good chunk?
Ran for over 1,000 yards and had 15 touchdowns last year. So, yes.
Where is he from? Do you know?
Played at
UMass.
UMass. Nice.
The team with no offensive line, and he still had a pretty good production. I think he's like a solid duo running back.
If you go by, switching to defense, if you go by this chart, it looks like they have 5 transfers penciled in, not penned in, not sharpied in, to start on defense. I think looking at this page, linebacker has the potential to be a strength. We're Jordan Hall podcast. We like Jordan Hall. And the 2 guys I looked at, Wayne Matthews III and Jordan Turner, coming from other respectable football programs.
Jordan Hall comes from Wisconsin. Or Jordan Turner, I mean.
Jordan Turner. Yeah, respectable football programs. I feel like your linebacking core could be a respectable unit.
Our new defensive coordinator from Minnesota said it's the best linebacker room he's ever had.
Wow.
I actually do think linebacker is a strength. Cal Halliday is either a starter or coming off the bench, and he's had production. Can't cover a soul.
Oh, he's still there too.
Run.
Deepest position on the team too, I'd say.
Got an all Big Ten honorable mention linebacker for Jordan Hall.
It's not even one single player on this team. It is
the coaching
staff.
Yeah, that should be the strength for sure.
Having a plan.
Having competent people to direct these athletes into a better game plan and foundation each week, I think it's just going to be night and day. We might not even be as talented. We could be way worse. But I think the overall coaching staff, obviously, I think is more proven and has, I'm not saying they are better, but I think it's going to be night and day of how competitive each play in each quarter will be from here on out. Obviously, we have no shot versus Ohio State and Oregon. I'm throwing those games away. Like, the only way we win those games is if those teams don't show up. But all the other games, we will be more competitive in. The strength has to be the coaching staff.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point.
I think that's pretty solid. Anything on the 2 transfers in, the Quindarius Dunnigan and Daquan Dowse? 2 sweet names that you guys got for the D-line.
Know a single thing about them.
I think they're both productive.
One's from
not
Nebraska.
Better than the 2 that transferred out. They're not Barrow
in Miami, Florida.
Darius Dunnigan's from Middle Tennessee State.
I love that guy. I love that name.
I don't mind Barrow.
Georgia Tech.
For Daquan Dowse.
I don't think, like, the one thing about Michigan State is we've always been able to
stop the run.
The run. You know, some weeks it's a little bit better than others, but it's like the scheme wise in the back end. I think it just over the last couple of years we've seen it just brutal
How can we shore that up? I think that's the biggest weakness is our secondary. I think you have some talented players back there, but if the scheme, like the last couple of years, if the scheme doesn't work, I don't care who's back there. I think Michigan's secondary could have been back there last year, and if Scotty Hazelton and whatever scheme they ran out there last year, I think they would have got picked apart.
No, not Sanders still. I'll stop you right there.
No, they would have got picked apart. The scheme was so bad.
It was like well known that the scheme was so complex that no one could understand it except the guy who implemented it, and it was just a disaster.
I like that spin zone. I'm too smart for you as a coach. You can't
That's
keep
what
up
he
with my
did.
brain.
That's what he did, and he wouldn't change it. But our new guy, Joe Rossi, he says he didn't come in with a set scheme. He's going to base the scheme on with the players he has, which, that is coach speak, but at the same time, got to think.
At the same time, you have to do that in the first couple of years, and then you start recruiting towards your scheme fits. So I think it's harder on defense to get scheme fit. I think it's easier on offense because you can always draw up new plays.
Make that shit vanilla.
Scheme and base align, where offense is you can draw up a play for anybody.
Make it easy to understand and don't give up 65-yard passing touchdowns every 8 plays. Then I'll be okay with it.
Do we expect anything from Alex Van Sumeren this year? It's a name I forget about.
I think he'll play. He's
going to have to play,
last
just
year.
depth-wise.
Returning guys, do we expect any positive? Like, do you feel good about Maverick Hansen and Chris Bogle?
I was talking about this yesterday. I'm kind of happy Chris Bogle's still there.
Maverick Hansen's good.
I feel like experience matters overall. That never hurts to have speed on the edge. It's just a matter if he's more physical to stop the run than some of the backups.
That was Jalen Thompson the defensive guy I'm thinking about that caught our eye last year, or is it someone else? That sophomore?
He was a true freshman last year.
Yeah, he's a true. Yeah, I remember seeing him
Tech.
play. I feel like that guy's good.
He's good. Evan didn't agree with me when I said that pre-show, but I said that he would be very good. I think he'll be a starter.
But did he have flashes, or am I thinking of someone else? I thought he had flashes last
year.
He
had 4.5 tackles for loss, a couple sacks, played in 8 games. He was pretty good at the end of the year. Yes.
It's a sample size.
I think he'll be good and a starter.
Breakout player of the year.
I wouldn't go that far, but
returner from the secondary that you think
Malik Spencer is one of the. I'm not getting ahead of myself, but he's one of the most important people on this team.
Yeah,
he's easily a top 10 player on this team.
He's the highest. He's the most sought after NFL talent on the defense, correct?
But he is one of the most important people on this team. Like I think if he's not out there, the secondary is going to get even way worse.
He's very good.
Here's a question for this roster. NFL talent-wise, Jack Velling, offensive representative, and Malik Spencer, defense, are those probably the 2 highest guys that NFL scouts would be wanting to watch play this fall for Michigan State? Besides Childs.
Childs is a true sophomore,
He's
obviously.
A true sophomore, not eligible. But
his definitely.
I can see Tanner Miller getting drafted.
The center. Yep.
Doesn't have the intangibles, though.
Dude, having a center is huge. That is
being
huge.
a second-team All-American, I think it matters a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely a good player.
Is that what he was?
Yeah, he's going to be all Big Ten if he plays all 12
That's
games.
huge. I love that. Good snaps. Ask Alabama last year.
Get a bunch of random guys around.
That center's now at Ohio State.
I know. That would be so funny if that was their downfall. I actually think about that sometimes, about how great that would be.
I think about
any
that
other NFL talent on our team
Jalen Monroe that I heard.
Upcoming draft.
Not NFL wise. I'm thinking about other guy in the secondary, Ed Wood. Ed Woods, do we feel okay about him? Came from Arizona State, I believe.
Good enough piece to play and be productive. He's better than the unknown.
Feels like a make or break year for Dylan Tatum in year 3. Gonna need to see something from the kid. Some more
flashes. He's a flash guy. Got some
Chance Rucker. He's supposed to be good.
He was a freshman last year. Got thrown into the fire.
Thought he
did all right. He struggled dramatically in his first game against Maryland. The only reason I pick him out on that game is because they announced the starters, and I was like, "Who the f is this guy?" And then obviously you had the whole debacle of that game. He is. I feel like he has some talent. Obviously, you never know.
I think he could be pretty solid.
I'm curious to see if we're gonna.
It's just so hard this year because
Oh, nice.
deep down in me wants to play the young guys to get more reps or whatnot, because we're not going to compete for a Big Ten championship this year. But also there's that first half, the selfish, my heart wants us to be as competitive as possible. So you want to play like the starters with the most experience to try to get to a bowl game, to get the extra 15 practices, to have something to look forward to, a little positive momentum going into the next year.
I mean, there's no old guys that are really playing.
All the transfers,
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
I was about to ask that
Not
question.
all the transfers
though,
are old, though.
Alex Jordan Hall not playing every single snap on defense. I know
Well, he needs
physically
to.
he can't do that.
No
But
one
No,
if
he
he
can play
doesn't
every
start, he
snap.
can't play every snap.
he can. He's built differently from
That's
IMG.
that's what I'm talking about, Alex. Like
He's
stuff
going
like
to play a
that
shit ton.
situations.
He's going to play plenty. And he's
Well,
young.
To Evan's point, though, I was looking. This is a rough in pencil depth chart, but just thinking, like, would you rather take chances on the guys like Chance Rucker, no pun intended, and some of the transfer linebackers, and that means you give less snaps to the Cal Hallidays, Angelo Gross, Charles Brantley, like those guys are names we've known.
Those three guys are going to get less snaps. Yes.
And that's interesting for an outside observer
They're
of me, because I know
holdovers.
those names, right?
Yeah, but they're not the new coaching staff's guys.
it's exciting. New is always better. I'm kind of excited,
New is always
Nah.
better.
but you
It's
love
also
Cal Halliday,
football.
so that's kind of messed up.
And we've been like one of the most injured teams I've ever seen in the last 5 years. So I'm sure every single one of these dudes is going to play all the time because we have just rotating injuries.
Maybe a new train staff. Maybe they're getting rid of Chris Fetter.
We did get a new training staff.
Punting, special teams, not spending more than 2 minutes on it, but you guys lost one of the best punters in the world. So is that a concern?
Wrong. What are you talking about? That's
2
a
years
freshman
ago.
All-American punter last year.
2 years ago. Yep. See, outsider. Thanks for saying
Freshman All-American punter last year.
It's a factory. Punting you.
Well, we had a
Continue.
lot of chances to punt, so that's why.
He's pretty good. And our
That's a good
kicker
spot.
is good enough. Can make from distance.
Nice.
So we'll be fine. Special teams should be okay.
Let's do quickly Michigan's depth chart, and then we'll do the MVPs on each, or most important player on each side of the ball. Do you guys have any questions? I know Alex likes to start with questions.
Nah, the only thing I saw that was interesting is Jaden Mangum's not going to start. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I don't. When he transferred in,
Tuttle
I
really gonna
kind
start.
of no. Alex
I
Orji
said
will be
that-
the starter.
I said last week that Jack Tuttle.
Jack
was the
Tuttle's
starter.
third string. He's still dealing with like elbow shit. Davis Warren will be your backup to start the year. That's what I read recently that I'm going to run with recklessly. Do I have any sources? Am I just reading what other people can see online? Correct.
Who are your
But I'm gonna-
wideouts? Just tell me the depth chart. Can you just read me the starters?
Yeah, I mean, I can just read down the list of things that you want.
Yeah, can you just read me the starters?
All right. So
Offense.
our one of our, I'll call him the X receiver because that's what he
Just
looks like here.
quickly. I don't
Sophomore.
care about that.
Frederick Moore.
Well,
I know
Alex
who these
Grant
people
wants to
are.
also talk about Michigan just as much as we talked about Michigan State. So, like,
Okay,
be a
fine.
pro,
Yes.
please.
Z
Be a
receiver.
pro, please.
Score a touchdown in the Rose Bowl. which
I
gives
know
him
who he is,
some chops.
though.
Tyler Morris, high school teammate of JJ McCarthy, doesn't have a connection anymore though.
Supposed to be a star.
Slot receiver, jittery but boomer bust last year with his muff punts. Samaj Morgan.
He had a good interview.
Left, yeah, he's a character. Left tackle, going down the offensive line from left to right. Miles Hinton, left tackle. Josh Preeb, transfer from Northwestern, all Big Ten
Oh.
last year. Guard.
Oh,
Center,
he's from Edwardsburg.
Center.
Illinois, Indiana. Center,
To
Greg
Josh.
Crippen.
Your transfer from Northwestern's
New
from
guy?
Edwardsburg, Michigan. He's like a powerhouse football.
I don't recognize
Let's
any
go
of
right
these
now.
linemen.
Right, yeah. So there's only one transfer in for offensive line.
And then
Unlike
all the
last year,
backups
we
from
transferred.
last year.
Just the guys that have been in the program for a long time. Probably the
All the
best one.
backups.
We were at center, Greg Crippen, right guard, Giovanni El Hadi.
So a lot
I
of
think I'm pronouncing that right.
proven guys. Is that what I'm getting?
That's one way people could look at it. I would look at it like I am most trusting of the guys that have been in the program because they've been offensive linemen. You
Glass
with a
half
head
full,
coach.
glass half empty, Grant.
who-
But it's
Oh,
fair
half
to say
full,
that
for sure.
that could
You're
be a
happy
weakness.
that you have new guys starting. Obviously,
I like this better than bringing in a bunch of transfers.
I
But
respect
fair to
that
say
decision.
that on the outside it could be a weakness since we don't
Yes,
really know
outsider's perspective, you don't have as much.
because they haven't played
what do you
much.
wanna call it?
football.
Well, if I was
starts, but like
if
people are like,
yeah.
oh, you don't have that like because that's the biggest thing for offensive linemen, like returning offensive linemen, is how many starts does that unit have combined?
and this one will be
Like that's what college football, whatever, all over. That's what they talk about. It's like, oh, they're going to have a good offensive line because they have 75 starts together or whatever. But that's not counting that, oh, hey, that right tackle actually does suck. It's just that, oh, he has 35 starts, they have nobody else with him. Like, do you value experience, or do you value just like
chemistry, working together too.
Yeah.
Time on task. These guys
like
have been
those
with each
people that
other
have
for a
been
long
in
time.
the system that have done the same thing over and over and over again every single day? Or like you said, Grant, do you want to bring in a transfer that, yeah, he could be more talented, but now he's learning
But
a new
that's what they
system?
did last year, and it worked.
It worked a couple of times. Well, Michigan's capable of bringing in All-American offensive linemen because those players know if I get in there and I contribute and I play, I'm most likely getting drafted.
Yeah, the biggest difference between last year and this year is the last 2 years they brought in All-American centers to be their center after Vastardis left. This year they felt good about Crippen. So I guess if I had to have the biggest question mark on a position on the offensive line, it'd be Crippen to see how he is. But I feel like they have been pretty good about their transfer process. They go identify guys that they can try to get in, and they felt like they didn't have to. So I'm taking that as a positive. I like adding the Big Ten guy, all Big Ten guy from Northwestern. I like that. And here's the thing, too, when it comes to the NFL talent, like Trevor Keegan, amazing all-time Michigan guard, was a 5th-round pick by the Eagles. Could Giovanni El-Hadi in his redshirt junior year be a 5th-round pick?
But was he only a
Easily.
5th round? He was only a 5th round pick because he broke his leg against Ohio State, right?
That was Zinter.
Zinter.
Yeah. Zinter is irreplaceable. He's a stud. So, but that's Josh Preeb's job to fill into that shoe and be
Andrew
80%.
Gentry, dude's never played. Only
I guess I have a question, Grant. Do you think like not bringing any transfers, is that solely because of the coaching question mark with Harbaugh, or do you think it's just the philosophy that program had going forward?
I think it's been philosophy. I mean, I will say, though, the year before, they are the most aggressive I've seen them be in the transfer portal, bringing in a wide variety of people.
They won the
But
title.
I think it's just like their team last year was just jacked, juiced with really talented sophomores. And I think this roster is just a reflection of that team last year, where looking at this depth chart, they have one transfer starter coming in on offense and one transfer starter on defense on paper right now.
So
And the
2
rest
years, Michigan's going to win another national championship.
Well, no, because
Okay, thank God. I can't
You're
take
saying-
it. I
you're
couldn't
saying
take
this
it.
year.
Yeah.
You're saying
So
no,
like 2
because
years from now, like you said, this team's a bunch of sophomores.
no, last year was a bunch of sophomores.
Yeah, but isn't this just a rinse and repeat too?
Well, now they're all juniors and they're going to go to the NFL next year. Like, this is it for like all the high end talent on the team. Like last year, the draft looked impressive because of the sheer numbers, but this year the high end talent will all be gone. Like the real reason you win a championship is because you have NFL sophomores on your team and they can't go anywhere because they're stuck.
Gotcha.
But
Greg
moving
Crippen
on,
went to IMG.
hell yeah.
Played total of
Colston
9
Loveland.
games.
Tight end, going to be huge, not to spoil things. Alex Orji, Donovan Edwards, sneaky dark horse guy, fullback Max Bredesen, absolute dog at blocking. Just if you go back and watch any of the Rose Bowl or title game, I encourage you just to watch number 44 in the backfield, just hunt people. He's awesome. He's a redshirt junior. He'll probably be there as a senior because I'm not sure fullbacks get drafted that much anymore. So we'll see. And then defense, like I said, a lot of repeat. Can't talk about the defense without the 2 defensive tackles, Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, awesome players.
Both can be first-round picks.
Both should be. Maybe Kenneth Grant slips into the top of the second, but Mason Graham, everyone has him like top 10 in the draft already. And then your outside guys, you bring back Josiah Stewart, great transfer from Coastal Carolina. They nailed that one. And then Derek Moore, really, really good, like high 4-star, borderline 5-star guy. That's a junior now. And then the biggest question, I'm curious.
Whoa, who's the transfer from?
Maryland?
Coastal Carolina.
Josiah Stewart last year.
He played last year.
He played last year the whole year, but he was from Coastal Carolina the year before that.
Oh, I see him on here now.
Yeah, he made the big play against Jalen Milroe in the Rose Bowl. We do get Rayshon Benny back, broke his leg pretty much in the Rose Bowl, so he'll be rested up, ready to go for some depth there. Not a ton of depth like last year. Last year, they were too deep across the entire D-line, so I guess that'd be one weakness potentially is just sheer bodies they can throw at other offensive lines. Linebacker, biggest question for me. This is probably the most athletic I've seen our linebacking room look like just on a piece of paper with Jayshon Barham from Maryland. Supposed to be really good. All positive reviews from him in the offseason. And then the Ernest Hausman guy that came from Nebraska last year gets to now be like a full-time starter, ideally, in his role.
No Junior Colson, it sounds like.
I mean, yeah, Junior Colson's a once in a generation, probably. He was awesome.
Generation.
And then-
You'll have
Linebackers
another
coach?
good linebacker.
Do you have any idea who your linebackers coach is?
Well, last year he got
guy
fired.
that got
because of
fired?
Stallions. That was Chris Partridge.
Oh, sorry. Touchy subject.
Brian Jean Mary. He was from Tennessee. Supposed to be a pretty big time recruiter, but I think he was well respected. That's another big storyline too. Is the coaching staff's really like all new. A lot of these guys are brand new. Last thing for the secondary, biggest thing you got to talk about the secondary, losing Rod Moore in the offseason will suck the whole season. It happened so long ago, you start to forget about it, but you have to remember Rod Moore out probably for the whole season unless somehow miraculously in the playoffs he comes back, but by then he'll probably, have to get into game shape. So you really have Makari Page back, Quentin Johnson, Will Johnson, and then Jaden McBurrows into his junior year, and then Jair
The guy that
Hill.
got punched in the tunnel.
Yep, he'll be our nickel back. In a lot of situations, I would say. He was okay last year. He actually played in the championship game, played in a couple other games, so he was solid. Biggest weakness across the board, offense, it's just the quarterback because it's a big question mark. Just really have no idea what to expect. So that's your weakness. On defense, it would be your secondary looking at this. Specifically, the cornerback opposite Will Johnson. That's been something Michigan struggled with for the last 3 or 4 years. Last year, they actually had a pretty good transfer come in and play the position well across from Will. But this Jair Hill kid was a very high recruit, but he's a redshirt freshman, and he's probably going to win the job. So people are just going to stare at that because they're really not going to throw it number 2 a lot, I don't think. So it'll be very interesting to see how he does.
Kicker?
That's really it. Dominic Zavada, transfer from somewhere.
Sounds good.
I know kicker's always a hot topic. From Arkansas State.
Kickers
the
can
Red
lose you
Wolves.
games.
Arkansas State. He was on the Lou Groza Award watch list.
All right.
So had some good kicks in the Sun Belt. Tommy Dolman, really good punter. Big picture wise, though, Alex, I texted the Michigan men chat today. Thought about, my connection was cutting out last week, but had some thoughts. The more and more I thought about Michigan's season, the closer I'm getting to feeling good about them going 10-2 and hosting a playoff game. I'm slowly getting there.
You're a loser.
Why?
Just be all in or be all out. Don't do this. Just be in or be out.
You're saying it has to be 8-4 or 12-0?
I just want you to say playoff or not. That's
I'm pretty close to saying 10-2 with the playoff.
No. Playoff or no playoff. Pick a side.
There's too many variables to that.
Can you just be a fun fan? Just have fun?
What if they go 10-2 and they don't get in because of other factors?
Then we'll
Dude,
talk
they're
about
10
it
and 2.
at the
They're
end of the
Michigan. They're
year.
a Big Ten school. They're getting in. There's 12 schools that get in.
Yes, they're getting
All right,
in.
10-2 then they're in the playoff.
So
I'm in for
playoff or no playoff?
Playoff.
Okay, thank you. Everybody heard it? You're welcome,
Playoff.
Michigan fans,
Hopefully hosting.
for getting
but-
this guy in on his team.
You're hosting SMU and they score.
You guys
45
could
points on
go,
your
Grant,
ass.
you realize
God.
you go 10-2, make the
Mhm.
Big Ten championship game.
No, we won't. I don't think we will.
Will you lose to Texas and Oregon or Texas and Ohio State? And you beat one of Oregon and Ohio State.
10-2. So who are you upsetting?
Oregon or Ohio State or Texas, one of those teams.
I think. Well, the correct answer, if we're talking about on paper, would be Texas. The hard part about the Texas game is that it's so early in the season that they are going to probably be in the best shape. Like, that's an advantage for them. This all goes back to me starting to convince myself that Alex Orji can be a carbon copy of what Jalen Milroe was last year.
Wow.
And how the stars are aligning for,
Jalen
the
Miller
kind
was
of-
good at running.
yeah.
Like
I know.
electrifying. You think
But-
Alex
but
Orji could be
you-
like that?
You ask any college football, I know Alex Orji can be electric running. I know, I've watched it. I mean, he's
I've
played
never
in
seen
big
it.
time. He's played in big time games throughout their
I
stretch.
need
Has
to
he
watch
ever had a
Alex Orji
touchdown run
highlights
more than
tonight.
40 yards?
More than 40? No. He had a 20, 25 yarder, I feel like, against Ohio State or at Rose Bowl game, maybe, but
He had a touchdown
Maybe.
in the Rose Bowl.
not touchdowns. No. His touchdowns have been against Colorado State and Connecticut.
He has 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Colorado State and Connecticut.
I'm watching his highlights.
No, he had a Michigan State one.
That
Well,
game
that's
doesn't
gonna
count.
All right,
Um,
just as Colorado State touchdown. It's
I mean, he
3
can
yard
run. I
QB
also
power.
sicko. I was again thinking this. I had to go see him throw. I went
That's
back
when
and watched.
RG3 said it's an orgy in the end zone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Colorado
Yeah.
State was.
Thank God he's
Yeah.
fired.
You said it, not me. I went back and watched our spring game, the highlights of it on Fox College Football on YouTube. I didn't hate what I saw from him throwing the football, honestly. It's a little weird release, but it's almost like he's playing point guard. It's not beautiful to watch, but he had good touch on passes through some good ball placement. So I started to convince myself. And again, Evan, trivia, Texas fan, who did Alabama lose to in week 2 last year with Jalen Milroe playing quarterback?
Texas.
What I could see happening,
I missed that
Is-
game. Fell asleep on
is
the
he-
couch.
I blacked out on a lake and then rallied to be able to watch that game.
I woke up during one of the touchdowns, and that's all I heard. I heard Chris Fowler screaming in the TV, and then I fell back asleep.
I was flying back from Kansas City after the Lions just
Not even on my couch.
Jeez.
Just a friends of a friend's house.
Wow.
Went too hard during the what game was that? Richmond tailgate. God, I'm pathetic.
That was Richmond, yeah.
Everyone
But
ordered
yeah.
like B-dubs. I didn't need anything. Sorry, Grant.
No, you're good. I just think maybe that's the path we're on, where he struggles in that game. Maybe they lose that game. But then as he gets comfortable and as they figure out their identity more, I think we'll be good. What the biggest X factor is, though, if they are rolling with Alex Orgy, the offense needs to be predicated around him. And, Evan, you're an offensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
You can't take your Jack Tuttle and Davis Warren plays. Those have to be thrown out if Alex Orgy is your quarterback, and you really need to lean into what he's good at and run. Like, Evan, and honestly,
I'm
is
100%
again,
with you, Grant. If you have an offense and you're like, okay, Alex Orgy's obviously going to be the starter, your offense is tailored around him, and then you have your dumbed down offense for your backup quarterbacks. You don't have this whole
Mhm.
playbook for all the quarterbacks, and you tell Alex Orgy to figure it out. It's like the NFL. Okay, Jared Goff has 150 plays to run. Okay, Nate Sudfeld has 25 plays to run. It's just that's the way it works.
100%. And to that point, we saw that with Alabama last year, where Milroe struggled early on, and then once Tommy Rees started to lean into what he was good at, started involving him much
Chucking it
more.
deep,
They
baby.
benched
Throwing
him,
it
didn't
deep. The dink and deep. Yeah, they put in the guy that plays lacrosse now
They
for
almost
one
lost
game.
to South Florida.
Yep. And then they're like, you know what? We just got to figure it out with Milroe. And they did. Almost to a national title appearance. Really, if they could snap the football better, they'd have a better chance to be in that game. So that's what I'm banking on for Alex Orgy. I'm just fully investing that he can do that and be enough of a pain in the ass for defenses, which I think he can be. I think he's an absolute athletic freak. Evan, actually, you won't, but he's the type of player you love. He is quarterback power. He is run people over. That is what I'm expecting from him against Fresno State. You just won't do it
He's not
because
Will
of his.
Howard, though.
I'm excited. It's going to be bad. It could be Joe Milton 2.0, but I'm excited for you guys to see him. He truly is a freak.
I just
Athletically.
watched all
Joe
his
Milton
highlights.
has
He has zero experience. Zero.
Yeah,
He's
but
played
so
like
does every.
11 plays.
Alex. He has
So does
like
every
the same amount of
quarterback.
experience as Aiden Childs.
He is like.
Yeah,
but
correct.
I mean, it's a fair thing to say. You're not wrong, but that's every single quarterback until they become who they are.
Yeah, but we knew JJ was going to be good.
No,
I did. I thought he was going to be good because I was
no.
freaking.
He was a 5-star coming of Jesus. We all talked
Still
about
not that good.
it. Okay. He won the title.
Okay.
Evans in denial.
He was good. He was good enough. Good enough.
But college football is a unique sport where you don't have to be traditionally good. He could just be a runner.
Is he actually 6'3"?
Yeah, that's
Or is
true.
that
But
just
I also
The
don't.
bio, he's 6'3".
I can't
No, I
say
think
I'm going
he's
to sit
6'3".
here, Grant, and tell you that I believe in your coaching staff, who I don't know anything about, can just in year one figure out how to adapt to
Alex,
this.
you know something
QB.
about them. They like cheating.
Oh well,
You know, Kirk Campbell was the OC last year. That hasn't changed.
The OC last year didn't have Alex Orji. They had an NFL pro-style quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, who could make throws on the run that I know Alex Orji can't make.
We don't know that.
No, I mean, it's like well known he can't throw it like J.J. McCarthy. He's going to be a top 10 pick.
I didn't say that.
It's a completely
Right now,
different
he's gonna be a
quarterback.
top 5 pick.
Number one, bro.
But it can work.
It can work, but do I believe in your coaching staff to make it work? It's hard for me to say that without knowing anything about the staff.
I mean, you know that
I know that they
it's
love
just-
to run the football with their Blake Corum, who's not there.
but now you run it with Orgy, Edwards, and Mullins, and you
And
just
Edwards,
you
the
just
guy
go to
who
work.
can't hit a hole, who can't find the hole unless it's the biggest game of the
Us.
season.
Yeah,
This
I mean,
is true.
that's
You
the
look
cross
at
you
his
bear, but he's
highlights, oh my God. Ohio State in national championship game, he's incredible. Every other game, not so great.
but he's a home run hitter, and those players win big games, which we have a lot of on our schedule.
Roman Wilson,
So who are
gone.
they upsetting?
It's just
I'll-
tough, dude. You're just losing
I'll-
so much talent.
Yes, but also bring back a
Who are
lot.
they upsetting?
Yeah, but you're losing like every great player I think of from your team that won the national championship last year. I'd say like 99% of the players I think of from that team are not there.
Yeah, they're 122nd in returning production.
Will Johnson, Loveland, Mason Graham
You're saying who's back?
are like the only three I think of from last year's team.
Kenneth Grant.
Him too, but like who I'm thinking of, JJ McCarthy,
Kenneth
Blake
Grant's not a
Corum,
household name, you know.
Oh
Mike-
my God,
Mike
Evan.
Sanders
Come on.
still.
You
Roman
had
Wilson.
Penix in a hurt locker
Roman
in the
Wilson,
national title game.
arguably MVP of the playoffs,
Yeah.
saved you in the Alabama game.
Baller, but I like Tyler Morris. I'm buying. I think this is the thing. I think we lost a lot. This is me convincing myself 10-2 in the playoffs.
So much.
We lost a ton of production. We lost a ton of
From
numbers on
star
paper.
NFL draft picks. Your whole
But I
offensive
think-
line.
I think the talent is still there. They just have to get to the production part. I think we lost production.
And
I
you
think we have
lost
talent,
your NFL head coach.
but wasn't there. Still beat Penn State. Still beat Ohio
his
was
State.
there during the
fingers are
week.
all
He
over
was
the
there
program,
during the
Grant.
week, Grant. It's not like he was removed from everything.
helping them, yes. But when the big decisions have to be made to run the ball 35 times around at Penn State, that was Sharon Moore.
Yeah, but the game
Harbaugh would've
plans
done
are
that
Jim
too.
Harbaugh.
As much as
Now-
they can be until game.
You're doing it. You're doing it. You're falling into
Yeah.
it. It's good.
I'm
It's
in.
good.
So who are they
You need it.
upsetting? Which team are they upsetting?
They have
Texas,
to beat
Ohio
Texas,
State, or
Ohio
Oregon?
State, Oregon. They have to
Okay,
beat them.
well,
Pick one.
Here, you tell me what are the games they're underdogs in?
Texas, Ohio State, and Oregon.
Well, technically, right now, Michigan's favored in that game.
If we
No,
had to
Texas-
set our
Texas
odds,
is favored against Michigan.
those
No,
three
I
games
saw
are
Michigan
your underdog
was.
games. You'll
No,
win
I
the
think
rest.
Texas is like a 3.5
Can
point
you just
favorite.
listen, Grant? 9
Okay, last time I
wins
saw it,
are
Texas.
safe. The other three games that are considered toss-ups: Ohio State, Oregon, Texas.
Yep.
Michigan State.
No,
Well,
Come on.
here's the good thing. Again, looking at our schedule, I'm also not going to disrespect USC like you guys are. I think that's going to be a
I'm not
tough
disrespecting
matchup.
USC.
I love their. I don't love. I like their quarterback. I think they're getting better on defense. They hired UCLA's defensive coordinator, who's an absolute dog.
Mexico.
As you guys like to say, the
They're
blue wall, the
11-point
big house,
underdogs.
not leaving the big house until October.
can you just answer the
we have
question?
we have one big road game this entire year. It's Ohio State. So the benefit that we have is that these games,
must be
which we're
nice.
going to be, is that we get them all at home. We get Oregon at home, we get USC at home, we get Texas at home. Soapbox rant: if you have season tickets to the big house, you need to be the loudest you've ever been in your life. This is probably the best season to ever have season tickets.
You think
to
those
Michigan
people are going to
Stadium.
stand up and get
Need
booped out of their seat?
Need it Saturday,
Sit
September
down.
10th.
I got to worry
Who
about
are they
what
beating?
slippery rock
Can we
stands.
get to the
I-
answer?
I think they beat Texas. I think they beat USC. And I would predict them to lose to Ohio State. I think it's just gonna happen.
Ohio State's so good.
But in Oregon's, I don't know what to expect. I like Oregon a lot. Again, home game in November
Do you think
in
you
the big
beat them?
house. If it's at night, I
I'm
like our
gonna not
chances
find this
to
game.
win by 2.
11-1.
Okay, there's Michigan USC.
Could be.
That's 2 weeks after it.
If we're
The
being, we're
fuck?
doing ceiling and floor, they do have the ceiling. If Alex Orji is Jalen Merrill to go 12-0, that's
Texas,
not off
3.5
the table.
point favorites. Dansby Swanson.
Realistically, with the talent they have, here's the thing I ask myself, Alex: can this offense score 28 points a game?
No.
4 touchdowns. Can
How
they
many
do
points
that?
did they score last year per game?
I'll tell you.
You
How
want
many
just
points
the
did
big
they
games?
score per game in Big Ten play? I'm not worried about how many points they scored against UConn because that just.
Do you just want
inflates it.
like against? But do you want just like the big games, or do you want like
you didn't play
Indiana?
anybody in the non-conference, so Big Ten
But, like,
games.
you want Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana,
Yes.
Michigan
You
State.
have to play You have to play the Big Ten.
All right.
Evan, they scored
Do
100
you want the
against
big?
us.
Do you want the Big Ten championship as well?
Yeah,
They
I
averaged
want you to
35
remove the-
points a game with all games.
I want you to remove the non-conference games.
Okay.
Colorado State,
Dudes.
UConn, and Eastern Carolina. Remove those 3.
But it's not going to matter. They're still going to average over 20.
How many conference games do you play? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 35 points a game against Big Ten opponents.
35 against all opponents, actually.
Oh, that's nice math.
They scored
Can they
under
score
28 3 times last year.
Yep.
Penn State,
Okay, Alex,
Iowa,
the times that they scored under
Alabama.
1 win.
Ohio State, they scored 30. Rutgers, 31. Bowling Green, 31. East Carolina, 30. They're actually in not conference. They scored less. They scored 52 against Minnesota, 52 against Indiana, 49
Lit
against
them up.
Michigan State, 45 against Nebraska. They were better against the shitty Big Ten teams than they were the non-conference teams.
Should have taken those games away and added their non-conference games.
Well, we did.
But
Either way,
the
they only
question
scored
is,
under 28 3
one less
times.
touchdown.
Can
I
this
think your
offense- this is the biggest question.
One less touchdown worse.
So 28.
Yeah, but I don't think you're scoring
I don't
28.
think 28 gets you to undefeated. Are you kidding me? You're going to give up 30 to Ohio State or Oregon.
Do you think the defense is taking that big of a step back? Because that's what you're betting on. I think the defense is going to be
Ohio
top
State
in
scored
the country.
24 against you last year, and your defense got worse,
And Ohio State's
Technically.
offense got
and
better.
their offense got better.
Well, I think that's what we have to say. Like, is the defense worse? The 2 best players on the defense are back.
Your middle linebacker, the heart and soul of your team, is gone.
He was probably the 4th best player on our defense last year.
Okay, that doesn't really matter because he was still a very important piece on your defense, and he's better than any linebacker that is playing this year.
Your best player
we
was
don't know.
Sanderson on your defense.
Sanderson did a lot
Your most
for a
important
defense.
player on your defense is gone. Not your best, I should say.
I think Grant and Graham were the best 2 players on our defense last year.
Okay, I'm saying the
Like,
most important. Well, I
You
don't
can
think
have
they're the
a-
most important.
Sick D
I mean,
tackles.
the pressure they got on the Rose Bowl. Like, Mike Sanderson's fine. He also did get juked out of his shoes in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
Everybody's
every
had
player
one play
makes
that-
plays. Come on.
But I'm saying the collapsing of Graham
you are
and Grant
really
is the
drinking
reason.
the Kool-Aid now. You think your defense
Yeah,
is
that
going to be
too.
better.
Or can they be what they were last year?
Even if they are, Ohio State's offense got significantly better because Honda McCord isn't playing quarterback, so I think they can score more than 24 points.
Do we think Will Howard's that much better than him?
Yeah. Kyle McCord was terrible.
Yes. Because Will Howard can
Kansas,
do Will Howard can do both. He can
but
run
he'd be a
and
back.
pass.
Will Howard would be a backup at Kansas State if he stayed.
No, Will Howard would start. Will Howard won a Big
No,
12
he would not.
championship.
They
Will
ki-
Howard
like, they
beat the team that you lost to 2 years ago.
they kicked out Howard for Avery Johnson. Like they did.
Well, that's
Kansas State
because
did not want Will
Avery
Howard.
Johnson was the highest recruit of all time in Kansas State. There was pressure to start that kid and all the NIL money.
Ohio State's offense
I'm
got
not-
better, regardless.
You think so?
Yes,
Yes.
they have the best running back, second best running back in the country now, added to their team.
They have the best offensive coaching staff you can argue in college or NFL.
The only thing with Ohio State, this is a big question for them, big picture for them. Can Ryan Day actually commit to running the football?
Yes, because Chip Kelly's calling the plays.
Is he going to though? Because Ryan Day
Chip
has
Kelly,
control
look
issues
at
with
all
that.
of Chip Kelly's best offenses and look at what the quarterback did, and they're in those offenses. Now you have a
Look,
6'4", 250-pound bruising of a quarterback.
But there's still questions for him. Same as Orji. Can they make the big throws in the big games when they have to do them?
Will Howard
He's
has
won the Big 12.
proven that he can.
Winning the Big 12 is not winning big
more than
games.
winning
Michigan.
against
the team that
Colorado
Michigan
State.
lost to. He beat TCU. You guys lost to TCU. He beat that team in the Big 12
That's
championship game.
That's 2 years ago though.
Grant, Alex Orji's
He's never
never
played
won
Michigan.
a game as a starter.
I know.
So you can't say Will Howard he has more experience in big games than Alex Orji does. It's a fact.
Correct. Does that matter on November 25th right now? No, we don't know.
He feels like 27 starts to 0 starts matters a little bit for experience. Yes.
if that's the way we went by everything, then you would just want the oldest quarterbacks in college football, which is not how you win all the
The
time.
worst quarterbacks in college football are some of the best quarterbacks in college football right now.
You think
They are,
Dylan Gabriel?
But there's also some to that though. They're just not good enough for the NFL. Like there's a fine line why there's a balance.
I felt like I watched JJ for several years because he just played as a young kid.
Yeah, he was 3 years and done.
Yeah, but he played a lot and he had a lot of experience, and it took him a second go at it to actually win. He needed the huge mistakes in the TCU game to win the national championship the following season.
Yeah, Milroe would definitely make mistakes. I'm just saying the 28 points thing is what I'm thinking of for this year. Like I think that is the number. If they
Can
can
Alex
do that,
Orji do that in a big game?
TBD.
But could Will Howard
Is
do
it
that
crazy?
in a big game?
Here's a question. Is it crazy to think that at the end of this year that we'd sit here and be like, I'd rather have Alex Orji than Will Howard?
No.
I don't think that's out of the question.
I don't think
I think
that's
that could
crazy. I think if you had to pick a quarterback to start your season with tomorrow, I don't think you're picking Alex Orji. Unless you're a Michigan Blue Wall fan, because that's the only people that would.
It's more the excitement of potentially a higher ceiling. You have a higher floor. with Will Howard.
No college football coach is going to try to take the ceiling over a proven all Big 12 quarterback.
Yeah, we'll see. This is the beautiful thing about it. This are the things I'm asking that I can talk myself into.
I'm just saying right
potentially.
now, it's not unfair to say that Will Howard is like who you would take right now. We could say Alex Orji after the Texas game for all I care.
Yeah, true. We don't know.
We don't. But Will Howard's also played against Texas on the road.
And
And he went 26 of 41 with 4 touchdowns and 330 yards. So he's played in big games and played well. You're the one who said can Will Howard score in a close game that matters against a big team? I think yes. That's my answer.
Again, Texas's defense is not Michigan's defense.
I'm answering the question. He's started 27 football games in high-level college football. I would take my chances with him in a big game over Alex Orji right now. And I don't think that's unfair.
That's very fair. I would not disagree with you on that.
Okay.
Then he would be the backup at Kansas State.
We don't know that.
He will. Their coach said it.
Yeah, every coach says that once a guy's gone.
That's true. But he did say it. You wanted me here. Now you got me here. You wanted me here, Alex.
You're here.
I'm here.
And you're loud.
I'm seeing bullets come at me. I'm dodging them. I'm trying to think of ways we can survive.
For Evan's sake, I hope Will Howard is good.
He's going to be good. It's a proven fact. It's going to happen.
There's
no questions about it.
He's played well in his career.
Barring injury, he's going to be all Big Ten quarterback. He'll finish second. He'll be second team all quarterback because Dylan Gabriel.
With the talent around him, you would hope. Here's the thing with Orji and him. You almost would rather, in Michigan's spot, less talented playmakers around him than Will Howard has. Your ceiling is probably the right bet with Orji, because if somehow he ends up being better than Will Howard, that's what you need to complement the lack of skill talent you have compared to Ohio State.
Or you could argue that picking Will Howard would be better because he has more flashy items to throw to. So it's hard for him to fail.
No, I think I must have worded that poorly. I'm saying for each team in their own spot, that might be the right guy for their situation. Where Michigan would need the swing of an upside of Alex Orji because their surrounding talent is
Michigan
not as high as Ohio State's.
Would need more talent at QB. Yes, I misunderstood.
And ultimately, that's why I think he's the right guy to start as a Davis Warren. Like, they're fine throwers of the football, but to get to where you want to go with the talent you have on defense, you kind of need to test Orji and see if he could be Jalen Milroe. Because if you can give me Jalen Milroe last year with Michigan's defense, I think they can get back to where they want to be in the playoffs. And that's the biggest question.
I worry about their receiving core, but that's just me. They've always kind of been like that, and it is what it is.
Yeah. If it wasn't for
Roman Wilson was really good last year, though.
He was really, really good. If it wasn't for Tyler Morris in the Rose Bowl, I'd feel a little bit more nervous, but we're definitely not going to have any tall receivers. It's just going to be a lot of guys catching slant passes and posts, hopefully.
Yeah, good tight end.
Yes, he will be. That's my most important non-QB player on offense is Colson Loveland. Could be Evans. Evan, we just have so many players you should love, Evan. That's your next Brock Bowers right there, number 18 from Idaho.
No, nobody's Brock Bowers.
That's Brock Bowers.
That's a lie.
There's your Brock Bowers. Most important defensive player. I'll give Alex Colston love, or Junior Colston some love. The guy replacing him, Barham, linebacker, probably most important player. If he's good, we can hum. What about you guys from Michigan State? Most important players on the team, both sides of the ball, no QBs.
My offense is Tanner Miller, center transfer from Oregon State. He's the captain of the offensive line, and this shit offensive line group that we've had the last couple of years has got to get turned around. And it starts with the captain of the offensive line.
I love that pick.
I would have
It's not
picked
sexy,
him.
but it's needed.
I would have picked him, but I just feel like it's such a known that barring injury, he'll be good and he'll do his job. So I didn't want to pick him.
Yeah,
It
but
is
it's not a
Frank
sexy
Ragnow.
pick. Everybody thinks of like athletes and weapons on your team. You're not really
Ow.
watching a football game and just staring at the center, see how good he's doing.
Correct.
Yeah, that's fair. Since I need to go with someone else, I'll go with our tight end. Veiling. I
So
don't
we
know
have
how to
the
say his last name. We
radio
probably have the
question.
two best tight ends in the Big Ten. Yes.
Big Ten.
I
Let's
think
just
so.
say it. Don't know what anyone else has, but I'm saying it.
I think it's fair to say.
Iowa will probably have a good one. Let's be honest with ourselves. Penn State will probably have a solid one.
Yeah, but can those teams get him the ball? No.
No, we
No.
can't.
We
Maybe. We don't know if
Got the
Oregon can throw.
Charles Feeling connection. If we have time
Deadly
to
on
throw the ball.
CFB 25.
It is. Oh my
Yeah.
God. It's unstoppable in college football 25. Veiling's like the greatest player in that game. He's always open, breaks 1,000 tackles, and he's fast. It's crazy. He's incredible.
Defensive side of the ball. MSU.
I'll let Evan go because I already know his answer.
I already said it when we were talking about the defense. It's Malik Spencer.
I'll go with Jordan Turner.
From Wisconsin.
He's
Not Jordan Hall.
captain of the defense. So
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna die on the hill, and Jordan Hall,
I think Jordan Hall will play next to Jordan Turner.
is my Tiger, is my Spartan.
Hell yeah.
He's
No
really
matter
good.
what happens, that's my guy.
He's really
All
good.
right, let me
too.
find mine. Who's my guy?
Who was it last year? Dylan Tatum?
No. I don't think I ever really
I
rooted
think you
hard
said
for
Dylan
him.
Tatum last year because
No.
you said he almost went to Michigan. I am like 90% sure. I'm pretty sure you said Dylan Tatum last year.
Where are your guys' linebackers from? Oh, where's from Matthews the third? Is he from Old Dominion?
Yeah, I
Yes.
don't think he's a starter, but
I think
What?
I gotta be an Ed Woods guy. I like that last name for a defensive back. I'm an Ed Woods.
he's gonna get torched probably.
If Ed Woods has 0 fans, then I've died. I ride for him. Who's your guys' Wolverine?
Nobody.
Alex is Dono. We know that.
No, I hate that guy
You've said his name the most of any player on the team. You
because
love
he's
Don Edwards.
infuriating. No, I
You
liked
love
Blake.
him.
I liked Blake Corum.
That's true. You were a Blake guy. You watched the documentary. You loved his upbringing.
Good guy.
Hard hat. Had a side hustle with Stallions. He's a businessman.
If I gotta pick a guy on your team,
Easy answers, Max Bredesen. Just a dog.
I'll pick.
Be an orgy guy with me. Come on.
Who's the
Whoa, that
backup running
sounded bad.
back?
That sounded terrible.
Who's the backup running back?
Khalil Mullins.
Yeah, give me Khalil Mullins.
He's a
Fumble boy?
hoss.
Yeah, give me him.
Did fumble against TCU, but he redeemed himself in the Rose Bowl.
Give me him because
Nice
I don't like
catch.
Donovan Edwards.
You could be a Cole Cabana guy. He'll get any rub, but
Dexter? You
Khalil
kidding
Mullins. You guys had a pair check.
me? Is injured.
Oh, Evan, you're
He's
Wolverine.
not even on the depth chart.
No,
Oh.
he's not. It's sad.
Oh,
That's sad.
Cabana.
he's not even on
our
the
last
depth
set.
chart.
I'm gonna
Oh.
pick.
Five deep at
I'm gonna
running
pick
back.
one of your transfers. I'm picking Dominic Zavita.
The kicker.
Yep, absolutely. Because I want to see that dude miss a kick, and the entire Michigan fan base just belittle that human being. He looks like a high school sophomore if you click on his profile picture. MVP. You need points
had-
out of that kicking position, and when you always miss what's his name's the guy that I hate.
Moody.
Yep.
Oh. Woody did us a
Fucking-
favor
I think-
last year in the NFC title
Biggest
game.
cheat code of all
Yeah.
time.
Our guy last year from Louisville, James Turner, he was fine.
He sucked.
It didn't go as bad as I thought. So I have high hopes.
Yeah, Jake
Where's the
Woolley
Vita?
making
That transfer.
5 field goals in East Lansing was just heartbreaking, but we still won.
Mel Tucker calling 3 timeouts in a row and him drilling it. I don't think the ball left if you had the center. I don't think it left a yard from the center every single time.
Game-winning kick versus Illinois. People forget we almost lost to Bielema at home before the Ohio State game, but we didn't.
Never
'cause the
forget we
refs didn't
beat
call
Illinois
pass
that year.
interference.
We beat Illinois that year.
Hell yeah!
Last good moment of the Mel Tucker era.
All right, Evan's favorite segment, the one he put on here, the what ifs of college football this year.
What if?
Evan's spirits
Let me
have gotten
just-
a little
What
better.
if
I
Will
think.
Howard wins the Heisman? What then?
Ohio State probably wins the title if he's that
Yes.
good.
If
Ohio
he's
State wins the title.
Heisman Trophy
Ryan
winner,
Day,
they're winning
all
the
the monkeys
championship.
are off his back.
They're at least
People
gonna-
realize he is a good coach.
Are they still having the Heisman voting early December?
Probably it's a regular
Before all the
season award.
playoff
Regular
games?
season
Before
award.
when the most important playoff games happen?
It's always been a
Regular
regular
season award.
That's
Never
so
forget,
stupid.
Kenneth Walker finished 5th. What a joke.
Joke.
Blue wall.
Aiden Hutchinson had no business being there.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm glad you said
Aiden
that.
Hutchinson
Such
could have
bullshit.
been there, but Kenneth Walker deserved to be there just as much as he did.
Gus Johnson said, "I'll see you there in a minute."
That was such a funny moment between Desmond Howard and Hutchinson and Stroud. I know I'm very biased in that, and I'd be pissed the other way, but that was hilarious, and it made me happy.
I hope Desmond Howard's the next ESPN person to get fired.
I wonder when his contract's up.
Crazy
McAfee's
he
gotta
has
be
a
making
job.
a lot on game day.
Crazy Desmond Howard has a job. He's so bad at it.
Big Phoenix Energy is great content, though.
Big Phoenix Energy! It's the dumbest thing. I'll laugh every time I see it. I will.
So good. I mean, that's what he makes the money for.
Yeah, it was funny. I can't deny that.
What if Aiden
What
Childs
if?
is the
no,
best
no,
QB?
no.
It's here.
No, I'm
it's
not.
here.
I'm kidding. I'm not doing it.
Please do it.
No, I can't. I don't know the questions.
What if? Well, no, I only wrote down one. We're
Grant
coming
just
up with the
doing
rest.
this snuffly voice. Hey,
What
guys.
if? No, I can't
There
do
it is. That was it.
it. What if Aiden Childs is the best QB in the Big Ten?
Michigan State goes at 9-3.
Yeah.
Best
Okay.
quarterback in the Big Ten is tough. Dylan Gabriel.
No, Evan. That's we're saying it's happening. Like, what if that is the case?
I
You don't
think we
have
go
to debate
9.
it. He
I think we
is.
go 9-3.
If he's the best quarterback in the Big Ten, he's upsetting Michigan.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I said.
That's your what if.
9-3.
See, that's good stuff.
To lose to Oregon, Ohio State, and
I think you guys go 9-3. I still think you lose in Michigan, Ohio State, and Oregon, but I think you win every other game if he's
if
the best
HL's
quarterback in the Big Ten.
the best quarterback in the Big Ten, stats,
Mhm.
it factor, all
Yeah,
that
we
stuff.
probably just lose those 3 games
Michigan State
close.
Aura.
beats Michigan without
Wow.
a question.
What if
At yeah, here we go, Alex.
Alex Orgy is Joe Milton?
Oh, that's dark.
Well, we can't say
Okay,
best
so-
because we know that they would probably win the national championship if he was the best.
If he is Joe Milton, they're probably 8-4. They lose to USC as
Evan,
well.
be honest.
Oh, yeah.
I
Maybe
think
so.
I think 7
'cause
and
I
5,
don't-
8 and 4. I think they
You
beat
can
Purdue.
still beat the crap teams in the Big Ten with
They
a bad
can't-
quarterback.
They
I
won
know
them
they were
all.
good last year, but
Alex,
Fair.
we watched it for many years. At
Yes.
Michigan State.
Yeah,
A
you're
top
right.
10 defense can get you to 6-6, 7-5.
Yeah. All right. 8 and 4.
the game that keeps messing me up on Michigan's schedule is when I look and see at Washington, and I'm just like, that's not Washington. Like
Jed
that helmet
Fish,
is,
though.
but they lost everybody, and he couldn't even get his quarterback from Arizona, who's awesome, to follow him.
Will
Yeah, if you got
Rogers.
him, that didn't worry.
Yeah, so I think
they had a good quarterback at Arizona. He's still at
But they
Arizona.
got Will Rogers.
Fafita.
Now, so.
it's sick,
Will
and their wide receiver from
Rogers.
Arizona is awesome too.
Yeah, he's,
Yeah, from Mississippi State.
yeah.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Not that good.
I just think they have no talent. No disrespect to Jed Fish will turn it around, but year one, like that's not a game. I still think they go 8-4 if he's Joe Milton. To your guys' point,
Okay.
but 7-5 if it also happens that Childs is the best quarterback in the Big Ten. If those
What
happen
if-
at the same time. Yep, I knew Alex would like this. I knew he would.
What if Jonathan Smith is a modern day Mark D'Antonio in year 1?
7-5.
Oh, Mark Antonio's first year, we went 7-5. Got to play
Yeah.
Matt Ryan in the Champ Sports Bowl as a reward.
Yeah,
Wow,
but
who
that,
could
that was a
forget?
very good season for us considering where we had been in the years. prior.
Absolutely.
If Mark Antonio, if Jonathan Smith is a modern day Mark D'Antonio, him and Sherrone Moore will have some hostile thing go down on October 26th, and the rivalry quotes will be reborn.
I
Yes.
don't see Jonathan Smith
Yes.
giving us any hot takes, rivalry
No.
quotes. Like Mark
I don't think
D'Antonio
Jonathan
did.
Smith will be.
But
like
what
that.
if, Evan? It's what if world.
What
We're in
if?
what if? He
What
plants a
if?
stake in the big house.
What if Sherrone Moore is Brady Hoke?
Ooh, 8-4. Brady Hoke did have good years. The Sugar Bowl, people forget.
So
Should
Michigan
not have
game
been in
for
the Sugar Bowl. Didn't
No
even
matter
win the
what.
Big Ten
You
championship
guys-
game. You guys were rewarded because of your
You
freaking
guys-
logo.
you
And
guys
Logan
don't
Thomas was the starting quarterback for Virginia Tech. Guess what position he played in the NFL?
tight end
Tight end.
for the Bills.
You played a tight end in a Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, we got
Now, Georgia
shipped
could be a
out of
tight
that.
end, probably.
We got
Didn't
shipped out of
deserve
that
to be in
arm.
that Sugar Bowl.
What if Ohio State and Oregon don't win the Big Ten?
Michigan did or Penn State did.
It'd have to be Penn State, right?
What if
yeah.
what?
It could be Michigan, but like that's a world with
USC.
Penn State.
Better
Fuck Penn
question.
State.
Oh,
What
James
if-
Franklin, USC.
What if Penn
Nope.
State wins the Big Ten, Evan?
Oh. What if James Franklin gets fired?
Do you guys know who their defensive coordinator is?
No, because
We
Manny
forget.
Diaz is the head coach of Duke.
Manny Diaz.
We forget.
I forgot
We
that.
talked about it. We talked about in the group chat of how
I forgot.
bad it is, but we forgot.
I forgot.
Tom Allen is the DC at Penn State.
He might be good.
They're
at
not
that.
winning shit.
Can you believe that?
James Franklin and Tom Allen are
Forgot.
the faces of that football program.
Two of the most like that sideline is going to piss me off actively on Saturday, seeing them like yell and jump.
What if?
Tom Allen never even really coached
This is
the
a
defense in
crazy-
Indiana.
Oh, they were
No.
good one year. They were top 30 statistically 1 year with Tom Allen. Anyways,
How do you know
this
that?
is because
Just-
just deep in the weeds on stuff.
Top 30 in the Big
This
Ten.
is a crazy what if. What if Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon, and USC don't win the Big Ten? Who did?
Iowa?
Who did?
There's no situation where any of that doesn't
The
happen.
season got canceled. COVID.
That's how bad. You could
What
see
if?
like a sneaky like Wisconsin or their schedule's too hard.
Wisconsin went to the air raid offense like idiots. Luke Fickell is running that program into the ground.
Wisconsin plays Alabama.
Washington
know.
somehow good. Rutgers in their cupcake schedule wins the
10
Big
wins.
Ten.
They're losing to Virginia Tech. It doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter for their Big Ten.
What if it turns out that Dan Lanning just can't win the big one?
See, what, year 2? Year
Yet.
3? That'd be
3.
premature. I think he will.
This will be year 3 for him.
I'm not even entertaining that what if. That's a crazy what if.
Here's a stat. He's only lost to 3 teams. Can you name them?
Washington.
Yep. 3 times.
Georgia
Yep.
Oregon State.
and
And your guy.
Jonathan Smith beat him.
Your coach.
2 years ago. Big upset.
it's been
What
like
if-
2,000 some days that since Georgia's lost to like an SEC something. I just need to read these stats off to you guys. See if I can find this post.
What if?
Let's see if I can find this post.
Lincoln Riley finally has a defense.
They'll win 10 games.
Yeah, I
and
think
they'll
so.
be one of the big teams that we're talking about.
Yeah, they'll take either Penn State's or Michigan's spot for that playoffs.
Yes. What if?
Okay, I have a question for you. Trivia question.
Okay.
Okay.
Who was the Georgia? Okay, let's see. Last coach. Okay, Georgia's last loss to a coach other than Nick Saban was who?
Georgia's last loss to a coach other than Nick Saban was to who?
But yeah, who was the coach?
It's been a long
I can't
time
even think of the
since they've
team.
lost,
like I'm
dude.
trying to
Holy
start with
shit.
team and then
Lost to
go to
Alabama.
coach.
And then they lost to
Dabo?
who did they lose to last year?
SEC?
Hey, Alex, let me just say for you guys, it's
They
been
lost to Nick Saban last year.
1,377 days since they
Okay,
lost to
that's-
this team.
That's over 3 years.
So now it's been 1,382 days since this post came out.
SEC
Did they
team.
lose to? Did they
SEC
lose to?
team.
Gus
They lose to
Malzahn.
Florida.
Nope, they lost to
they
Florida.
lose to
Who's the head coach?
They did lose to Florida in the outdoor cocktail
McElwain.
party.
Who's the head coach of
That's
Florida?
Billy
disgusting.
Napier.
Who was it?
Jim
No,
McElwain.
No, the Michigan
Who was
coach in between
before?
that refused to recruit during the middle of the season.
It was the guy before.
It was after McElwain, in between Napier.
How do you guys not know who this coach
Oh,
is?
Dan Mullen.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay,
ESPN Dan Mullen.
Who was the last Georgia? It's been 2,058 days since last loss to an active FBS coach. Active FBS coach. Who is that coach?
How would I know this? We're talking
Oh, Lincoln Riley.
6 years ago.
No.
Didn't they lose in that Rose Bowl?
Yes.
No. Wait.
Yeah, but
No.
they lost.
Oh, and they won that.
They lost the year after. Georgia won that game.
Yeah, Georgia.
They
Yeah,
won.
that's right.
Who was the
6
last
years ago?
Who was the last coach to beat Kirby Smart? That's still
Yeah,
active in college
I was just
football.
thinking it was Ed Ogeron, but he's not active,
Hint?
obviously.
I'll give you a hint. Hint is Michigan State.
Mel Tucker?
No.
He's not active.
Michigan State plays this coach.
Okay, we play a lot of teams. Bill O'Brien.
No, don't. We actually play 12. Oh, O'Brien was in the NFL.
Boston College's coach. That's why I said that.
Um,
Oh, Tom Herman.
Tom Herman. Bing, bing, bing. Where was he coaching?
Texas.
Thank you.
We're back. That was that video.
Okay. Last active
really?
FBS coach in an SEC game.
There's another question.
Yes, it's been 2,469
We're talking
days
6
since last
years,
loss to an
Evan.
active SBS coach in the
6,
SEC.
7 years.
Gus Malzahn.
Oh, I said him earlier.
That's how dominant Georgia's been. Just FYI.
That's pretty good. It's pretty crazy, actually. You know
That's
the
pretty
last
good.
Big Ten team Michigan lost to?
Michigan State.
Michigan
And
State.
who was their head coach?
Mel.
Mel, tuck me some more Tucker.
What if Mike Elko has good talent around him and
What
is a
if
good
Mike
coach?
Elko quits?
They will
like Elmer Fudd.
Beat Notre Dame.
And probably make the playoff.
Yes.
There's a path if they beat
They
Notre
don't have
Dame.
enough talent on the roster.
We don't know.
They're
that.
loaded with talent. Are you
They're in the
kidding me?
SEC.
You got to look at the talent composite. Texas A&M loaded.
That doesn't mean shit, Alex.
It does matter.
What if
No, it
what
doesn't.
it happens? What if Quinn Ewers and Texas lose week 2 in the Big House?
I already said they could go 8-4.
Arch Manning. How loud will that get? That'll get pretty loud.
It's not that good.
You think Texas their fan base fully believes they're winning that game, correct?
Yeah, Texas is Michigan, dude. They're the Michigan of the South. They're delusional. They have the orange wall.
What if Oklahoma beats Texas again?
Why? I'm an Oklahoma fan.
There's nothing new. I think Oklahoma has a winning record over the last 10 years versus them.
Oklahoma is Alex's dark horse to make the playoff.
Mm.
We said this.
You're trying to be anti-Texas.
I am
'cause you live there.
because they're basically Michigan. I don't like.
So Alex is a Michigan fan. That's why.
Any more what ifs? Or should we pick our backup teams?
Yeah, I have one more.
You got one more what
I
if?
don't
Okay.
have what ifs.
What if Nate Carter runs for 1,500 yards?
He gets a high five.
That means your offensive line was able to move people.
Yeah. That means we have
Which
some
means
production.
we had to be pretty good.
7-5.
He still won't be the best running back in
1,500
the
yard
Big
rusher,
Ten.
and we wouldn't win more than 7 games.
There's better running backs than college football.
Just saying, if we had a good enough offensive line to produce a 1,500 yard runner, I feel like we would be pretty good. Yeah, that's how
What
you
if
manage
Maryland-
clock.
Maryland goes 4-8.
I would not be surprised.
They
Who's
fire
their
Mike
quarterback?
Loxley.
I told you that last
Tanner
week.
Tagovailoa.
No.
It's the third brother. They did.
Tua and Talia and Tanner.
Hawk Tua
That doesn't make sense. Broncos.
Where'd that Minnesota quarterback go that people are hyping up that was so terrible
That
last
guy
year?
Alex
sucks,
Sapp, he's at Rutgers
dude.
right now.
Oh my
He's at
God.
Rutgers. That's right.
He's so bad.
All right, who's your guys' backup team?
Oklahoma.
Come on, you can't do that, dude. You go to work in Texas. They're gonna piss people off.
I already told people today that my
You're
backup
pissing
team
Evan
is
off.
Oklahoma.
Evan's a diehard. He asked for a Colt McCoy jersey the
He's
other
a
day.
Colt
and you're just
McCoy
gonna-
fan, not a Texas fan.
He's a Texas fan. He for
Yeah.
sure is a Texas fan. Alex, that's why are you doing this? 134 teams to choose from,
Backup
and you
team?
choose Oklahoma.
Okay. Sorry.
I don't want to
Maybe
pick anybody that
you're
high.
just being an antagonist. That's a dick move.
They're kind of sick.
I don't want to pick
they
anybody
kinda
that
are
high
they?
ranked.
They're boomer bust. They could easily go 7-5 in their first year in the SEC.
Who do you want me to pick?
I don't know, something more exciting.
Grant, give me your-
Colorado.
Well, I can pick somebody equivalent to that.
Yeah,
you guys are gonna you're gonna hate my team.
Okay, let's hear it.
But I am all in. Making the playoff, winning the ACC, the Miami, Florida Hurricanes. It's the year. I love Cam Ward, Flash. When the U was rocking, do you guys remember that game when they were good and they beat Notre Dame?
Oh,
And it was prime time. And that stadium was
the Catholic
rocking.
Church was going to go under. Everybody was going to quit being Catholics after that game.
Mark Richt, I believe, was the head coach, had the boys playing 10-win football, and they just smacked Notre Dame around. I think I want that. I know you guys have some bad taste because Simeon Barrow, not just him. You look at their D-line, it's nuts. They have NFL dudes all over their D-line.
I
think they're going to be legit.
Because I'm going to go down there in hostile territory and cheer for him. I'm picking Ole Miss. I'm picking the lane train to finally get over the hump because I honestly think if he can't do anything in the playoff this year, where he doesn't have to win the SEC championship to get in, if he can't do anything, then it's never going to happen.
What do you mean? You're saying just make the playoff or win a game in the playoff?
Win a game in the playoff.
I think their fan base just wants to make it.
Well, that would be soft. You're the 6th ranked team right now. You should be competing.
Yeah, but you know my favorite Ole Miss stat. My favorite Ole Miss stat that blows people away is that they've won more than 10 games in their
Ole Miss is the Penn State
team history since 1970. They won 11 games last year. It's the first time they've ever won 11 games in the entire program's history.
Oh.
I don't know why they get viewed that way. I don't know if it's the Eli Manning effect or in the
Alabama.
South. But they won 10 games in the 60s. They won a couple 10 games in the 70s.
What was the quarterback down there that they had in the 60s?
I have no idea.
I can't think of the college history. Yeah, there's a famous college quarterback that they had in the 60s. Arch Manning. Duh. Archie Manning. That's why Eli went there.
2005, so the last 20 years, they've won 10 games 3 times. Lane Kiffin's responsible for 2 of those, including 11 win last year.
Ole Miss beat Alabama twice. That's sick.
Bo Wallace.
Okay, that's exciting too. I have a Jackson Dart Heisman ticket, so I'm also.
I would have liked to be on the Ole Miss bandwagon as well, but since we're going to the LSU game, I feel like I needed to root for LSU.
Oh my god, disgusting.
I mean, that game I will be for sure.
Yeah,
I will be singing next with the band.
Fall into the love of LSU.
All right,
for one day.
I heard a dirty rumor about LSU fans, and both my dad and my brother told us that we have to confirm this nasty rumor. LSU fans smell like corn dogs.
All I know is that LSU fans are super mean.
So
and
they
not
smell like
nice
corn dogs
to opposing fans whatsoever, and you should not dress in opponent territory.
I'm not going to dress. I'm not going to have anything on that says
Ole Miss.
Ole
They
Miss.
don't like Ole Miss. They also think they're rivals with every team in the SEC. And basically, no one likes LSU south of the Mississippi.
So they smell like corn dogs. It's true.
They probably. I mean, I don't know. I work with some people from LSU, and they don't smell like corn dogs. But
hey, look, they can lose that game in Jackson's Dark and still win the Heisman, so that's okay with me.
Living in SEC countries really tainted my view on a lot of SEC teams that I thought were cool.
I mean, they are cool. They're sick. It means more.
Until you hear from all these crazy SEC fans just dumping on the other. And then
we don't do that?
No, we do, but that's why we don't
I
like
hate Wisconsin fans.
That's why we don't like any of the other teams in the Big Ten.
I don't know if I've ever had Wisconsin fans. I don't really care too much.
Illinois fans, basketball,
Purdue fans.
I don't like Michigan football fans. Besides our friends, I can live with them.
All right, Oklahoma, Miami, Florida, and Ole Miss are our teams. Next week, this will be it for this week. Next week we have Connor coming on. Yes. We're going to do quarterback rankings. We are also going to do, so you guys can start thinking now, we each have to predict the 12-team playoff bracket, which is going to be a tough exercise. All the seeding.
Michigan State will be hosting a home playoff game.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were going to give it away. I think it's going to be tough to do.
I just did give it away.
I have to do my research.
And the seeding and how the matchups work, and then your final four and your champion. Everything's got to work together to get to where you want to go. So we'll do that. We'll do the quarterback rankings, and we'll discuss. We'll learn more about Florida Atlantic and Fresno State together next week. And the week after that's Lions time. So cheers to episode 178.